for delays and technical problems. This is a webinar of the State Liquor Authority. Today is December 6, 2017. Present today is Chairman Bradley Commissioner Ford, sitting in temporarily for Councilor Riley, who will be joining us as Senior Attorney Bromsky, Deputy Commissioner Howard, and myself, Secretary Donahue. The next meetings of the authority are December 20th, this year, January 3rd, and January 17th of 2018. We'll call the items, looks like first in New York City for a while, and then Buffalo and Albany. As the items called, please approach the microphone and then state your name for the record, please. Chairman, any announcements before we get going? No. Okay. The first item on the calendar is 2683C. Is a request by Council's Office for an emergency order of summary suspension regarding the Merrimack Smith LLC.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ford, Thomas Rizzuti from Council's Office, here this morning requesting an emergency order of summary suspension pursuant to Section 413 of the State Administrative Procedures Act against the licensed establishment known as Merrimack Smith LLC. Commissioners, the Council's Office makes this recommendation this morning in light of news we received this weekend that principal of the licensee, Sarah Smith's application is in truth closely affiliated with the previous licensee, Black Bear Saloon, and is in fact based on false material statements regarding her relationships to the previous licensee and regarding her modified operation as a restaurant. In addition to these false material representations, a joint inspection was conducted by SLA and various White Plains agencies on December 2nd, 3 days after we issued the license, which indicated that the licensee purchased a basement's worth of liquor from an unauthorized source, was non-modified, possessed illicit liquors, had unauthorized alterations, and had a host of bills and fire violations leading the White Plains Fire Department to close it that evening. Turning first to the false material statements. In support of the licensee, Ms. Sarah Smith executed and filed a notarized statement with the State Liquor Authority on November 29th, stating that she has no relationships or affiliations with the previous licensees of Black Bear Saloon whatsoever. Counsel's Office's investigation has determined that this statement is a lie, and this was a false material statement in support of our application. In front of the full board on November 22nd, Mr. Chairman, you asked her point blank if she knew Ben Pryor, who was the previous licensee, and Ms. Smith stated on the record in support of the license that she only met Mr. Pryor when she began negotiating the purchase of this establishment. This was determined to be a lie because Investigator Jaworski of the SLA did a social media report and determined that she has known Mr. Pryor since at least 2013 and has extensive relationships with him. Further, on September 2nd, during this investigation, Ms. Smith admitted so much to SLA investigator Charles Stravali when he asked her point blank, isn't it true that you've known Mr. Pryor since 2013? And she said yes. And
was that November 2nd or you said September? You mean November? The investigation?
Oh, I'm sorry, December 2nd.
December. Okay.
December 2nd. So she admitted point blank to investigator Stravali that she knew Mr. Pryor. Social media reports reflect that. And furthermore, she has held herself out to White Plains police officers as an interested party and a substantial member of this establishment and the previous establishment. What this represents is a shell game where the licensees of Black Bear Saloon, the previous licensee, have essentially baited and switched the authority. That Black Bear was an operator that amassed nearly $20,000 in fines over a 2-year period for at least 6 disorderlies, sales to minors, sale to intox, things of that matter. And now Ms. Smith's association with Mr. Pryor indicates that there's still some involvement with Black Bear today. Furthermore, during the December 2nd investigation, Investigator Stravali, as I said, found a basement full of liquors. Ms. Smith admitted to Investigator Stravali that she purchased this basement full of liquors off of Ben Pryor when she bought the bar from him this year. She admitted that she did not purchase it legally through an authorized vendor, that she did not have a permit to purchase that liquor, and that the liquor in the basement, which totaled hundreds of units, was from Mr. Pryor himself. And again, she was able to produce no invoice regarding that purchase. Furthermore, there was behind the bar open bottles of liquor, which she admitted was from the previous operation that she had not removed. So it shows that the liquor is the same liquor that was in Black Bear is here now. And Investigator Stravali found a number of illicit liquors without federal labels.
Indicating what?
Indicating that it's untaxed liquor in violation of Section 151 of the ABC law. And in addition to these false material statements, this murky ownership interest, this establishment is clearly non-bona fide. Again, we issued this license on November 29th as a restaurant, an OP restaurant. And the reason I believe that the authority issued it as a restaurant is because the operation of Black Bear, the previous licensee, was simply put, not working. Fights every weekend, sales to minors, it was a bad operator, and the board felt that a restaurant would be a different enough form of operation that we would feel comfortable putting a new license in there. Well, during the December 2nd investigation, Investigator Stravali found that there were no utensils, no silverware, no menu, no food. The kitchen was extremely unsanitary. He observed nobody eating, and in fact, Miss Smith admitted to Investigator Stravali that she runs a bar and not a restaurant. So a mere 3 days after getting their license, they're already operating non-bona fide. And furthermore, Investigator Stravali observed a DJ booth constructed that was not present in the diagram she submitted to us, which is evidence of an unauthorized alteration and further evidence that it's non-bona fide. Also during this investigation on December 2nd, White Plains Fire Department, White Plains Police Department, and White Plains Buildings Department were all present, and they each observed numerous violations. The most egregious violation was that the fire department observed that the fire alarm system was turned off, not broken, turned off by the licensee, and the fire department closed them until that would be rectified. So that's something the licensee had direct control over and failed to comport with the law. In addition, violations were observed for blocked exits, locked exits, improperly secured gas cylinders, emergency lighting didn't work, fire extinguishers were improperly maintained, and health code violations regarding the kitchen being so unsanitary. In light of the false material statement, in light of the non-bona fide especially, it is clear that the licensee, when she applied to this license, when she made representations to this board, and when she assured the authority that she would operate a different establishment than the one that was previously in place, it is clear that the evidence adduced, or the evidence that will be adduced during the hearing, shows that all of her statements were a lie. And for those reasons, combined with the imminent threat posed by the building and fire code violations, counsel's office believes that this case should be summarily suspended.
Who, prior to her, I know Ben Pryor was on the license. Was there anyone else on the license?
Yes, so originally Black Bear Saloon, I believe it was called 166 WP Hospitality LLC. There were originally 3 licensees, Ben Pryor, Mark Hadnett, and John Sullivan. At some point in 2015, John Sullivan and Mark Hadnett got off the license. It's counsel's office belief that they saw the ship was sinking, and they tried to distance himself from the relationship. And at some point in 2015, Ben Pryor became the sole principal on that license.
This joint investigation, was that done while the place was open?
Yes.
So patrons were there?
Yes.
Was Pryor there?
That I am unaware of, but Ms. Smith was there. And there's body cam footage, a 2-hour body cam footage of the investigation where we have recordings of her admitting relationships with Mr. Pryor going back to 2013.
So where does Cormac McCarthy, who was her boyfriend, fit in all this?
So Cormac McCarthy is the father of Ms. Smith's child. They lived together. Cormac McCarthy was affiliated very closely with Black Bear Saloon. From social media search, he is mentioned in numerous posts with Mr. Pryor going back to 2013. He promoted Black Bear Saloon.
And so she's known this guy for
Cormac,
Cormac obviously knows Pryor since 2013, and you have Facebook posts that shows she knows
yes.
Pryor since 2013?
Yes.
Okay.
And admissions from her.
I'm going to vote to summarily suspend. It's obvious that she knew what would happen if she told the truth, so she decided she would lie. I think it's clear that based on that, plus the other evidence that or the other allegations that you brought forward, that there's a clear risk to the public health, safety, and welfare.
I I'm going to vote to summarily suspend as well, and I additionally would like there to be a name stop, location stop, every other kind of stop we can come up with, so that they never get...
Well, I was going to actually add that there's no point in negotiating here. This is revoke with prescription, so you might as well go right to hearing.
Thank you,
There you
Mr.
go.
Chairman, Mr. Commissioner.
Donald, are we ready to, well, Chairman, Commissioner, rather, those other, the name stop, location stops, those will be imposed at the end for penalty?
After it gets litigated.
Nothing's going to happen right now anyway.
Okay.
Donald, can we
Other
go
than we close it.
we go to Buffalo now?
Are they hearing us now, Donald?
Buffalo hears you.
We can hear you.
Albany can hear you.
Do you hear us?
Albany can hear you.
No, I can't hear you, so stay here.
All right, we're going to,
Turn this up a little bit more,
how
Don.
about,
Buffalo can hear you. Can you hear us?
It can't be.
we can't hear Buffalo is the problem.
Okay.
Albany, can you hear us?
We can hear you. Can
It's
you
kind of
hear
low,
us?
too.
We're going to
Yes.
stay with New York for a little while. Lucky you.
All right.
The next item on the calendar, 2630, Curvins LLC. Oh, and Councilor Riano has joined us.
Good morning. Stacy Weiss for the applicant.
Good morning.
Morning.
Is there anyone from the community board here? Okay.
Yeah, hi. So this is an application for an on-premises license located at 736 Lydic Avenue in the Bronx. And this, as far as we know, was first approved by the community board.
Can you just go through, I read everything, so can you, I'll ask you some questions about that, but can
Okay,
you just go through the method of operation?
Okay, it's going to be a bar. It's going to have a live music two nights a week. One of the principals actually is a musician. He plays the drums, jazz music twice a week, and it's going to have, I'm going to let the principal who I have here, she's going to describe
Okay.
a little bit about what she's going to do there.
I'm a 20-year veteran in the industry.
Can you just put your name on the...
Sure, Marisa Davis.
Okay.
I'm from Rockland County. After, college, I moved into the Bronx for a few years, and I felt that there was a need to have something that was of quality in the neighborhood. It would be a gastropub. We would have live music twice a week, like Stacy said. My only other partner is a retired ophthalmologist who is a jazz musician as well. And we're looking to have some quality food and quality offering in the area. I'm 40. I'm looking for an older demographic, over 35. I've had great support from Lieutenant Hickman, who actually spearheads the community affairs, and also all the community affairs officers, as well as the captain. And, I'm a 12-year resident of the neighborhood, and I think that my area is more than just fried chicken and bodegas. I think that to have any type of socioeconomic growth, someone needs to make an investment in the area. We have a lot of gentrification. A lot of people are coming from Brooklyn, and there needs to be a quality leisure activity or a place to have a drink in the proper environment. And right now, there's nothing. I have nothing near me.
And what are the hours?
So we would be opening at 3 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and on weekends, we would be serving brunch, and we'll open at noon.
And closing when?
Closing at 2 a.m., Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and the rest of the week at 1 a.m. I'm not looking for a late-night establishment. This is conversation-level music. I'm really kind of gearing towards an 80s and 90s music play. TVs, this is really just an older demographic, a nice neighborhood spot. And again, I want to beautify the area. The area really needs some investment.
So were you at the community board?
I was at the community
Both
board.
the committee and the full?
No, I was at the committee where I was passed unanimously, but I was never contacted, which is odd, via email or phone, nor was Lieutenant Hickman. He wasn't at this next meeting, or the other community affairs officers. I just wish that I was given a chance to speak. I don't
She
think,
wasn't aware of the second meeting.
I wasn't aware. I would love to let them know what I do, what my experience is. I opened BB King's in Times Square 20 years ago, and I've just opened Augustine for Keith McNally in the Beekman Hotel in 2017. So I've been doing business development for restaurants and nightclubs in the city, since graduation of college.
So you have no idea what their objection is? Because I don't, I don't either. I'm asking her, actually.
From what I understand, they assume that I am close to the school, but I am not.
No, you're not.
I beat the rule, and I'm not even open in the hours that the school is in operation, and it's an elementary school, which. Yeah.
Okay.
I really don't have anything near me.
And they also mentioned about,
And it's not 500-foot case, so I don't, they clearly have some kind of issue with it, and I'm not seeing it myself.
And the
If
subcommittee.
it was that important, they could have come.
Yes.
Yeah, there's,
And the stuff they submitted to us is, it's just completely conclusory. They don't indicate whatever the issue is.
they indicate something about past history, but,
I can't.
Yeah, which it was a liquor store nearby. It has nothing to do with a bar.
On the street, it's just liquor stores, grocery stores, it's nothing.
yeah. I don't have any further questions.
Okay.
I'm willing to approve.
I'll approve as well with the hours that she stated. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 2 a.m.?
Till 2 a.m., yes.
And 1 a.m.,
Sunday to Wednesday.
yes, and she can have music any night she wants.
Thank you so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Good luck.
Are you good with that?
Thank you.
Do you don't want the opening hours on the license,
No.
maybe just the closing? Thanks.
All right, staying in New York City.
Everybody needs to react like that, by the way. As you can see, it didn't start out well, and she just picked it up.
I mean, not like last week's meeting.
It's Christmas, okay?
Wow.
Next item is 2604, Room 31 Inc.
Good morning, Chairman and Commissioner. Teresa Russo on behalf of Room 31 Inc. I'm here with the applicant today. The applicant currently holds 2 active New York State liquor licenses and hasn't had any incidents. The applicant's sister and 3 other individuals previously held the licenses this application.
Wait, say that again?
The applicant's sister and 3 other individuals previously held the license at this location. The applicant was not a principal on the previous license, and his sister will not be involved in this application. We submitted an affidavit to that effect that she will have no involvement in this new restaurant. He's an experienced operator, and he spent a substantial amount of time working with the police precinct and the community board to negotiate a very detailed stipulation to make sure that he's a good neighbor and that he has adequate security in place. He brought the building up to code. He spent a substantial amount of money. He installed both interior and exterior video cameras. He purchased a scanner ID, and he's made the commitment to the community board that everyone is going to be alcohol trained within the establishment. And as I said, he has 2 other establishments and has never had a problem.
Is he the only partner or principal?
Yes.
So can he explain to me the large deposits in his bank account around the time of this application? And were they cash?
There were 3 deposits, and we submitted promissory notes. One was a loan from his parents. The other was a loan from his brother-in-law.
Who's married to his sister who owned the place previously?
No, my brother-in-law through my wife.
Do you own the building?
No, I do not.
So why, your sister basically rode this thing into the ground and now you want to get involved in it?
Well, because I got involved in there, I see the potential in the area, and basically I took it over from the landlord, which I made my deals with him as far as cleaning, fixing everything up. She had a bad partnership with the other people, and I just made a decision to, it's the area is up and coming, so I made the decision to take over the building property.
And Chris, we shut this because they shut the corporation down?
I think that's part of it, yeah.
It was an inactive
Yeah, it's inactive.
corporation name.
And you run TC Queens Entertainment?
That is correct.
And do you run La
For a
Office,
Mexican restaurant, yes.
La Officina, is that you?
That was me. I had sold that place.
What we listed in the memo is the history prior to his being removed by the via corporate change.
Oh, he was on this
He
place
was on
as well?
La Officina.
Yes, I
that had
was. I sold
history.
it,
That's why the history is only updated to 2010, I believe.
But La Officina was the former licensee here?
No, not
Okay.
here. Not here.
No, he was not on the previous license at this location.
And where is and so Gordo's LIC is your other restaurant? And we have nothing on that, Jackie?
No, we don't have anything on that. We do have on TC, which is listed. in the
Right, I
memo.
see that. And so there's nothing since 2010 on TC? Because he's still on that one.
I'll take a check.
While she's looking that up, you're good with all the stipulations here?
Sorry?
You're good with all the stipulations here?
Yes, I am.
Yes, he spent a substantial amount of time with both the community board and the police precinct negotiating the stipulations.
I'm going to go on a limb here because the system is not working.
yeah.
That my examiner wrote accurate history.
Okay.
Okay.
I have something that was closed out this year.
Oh,
That
there we
is
go.
fine. Yeah. So it shouldn't have anything after 2010.
Yes.
And how is it going to work? You have a security guard for every 75 people. 75 people come in, you're going to call up another security guard?
No, we're in the middle of setting up everything. I normally run it through like the space, mandatory personnel as far as security, but there's certain nights we're gonna have to figure out which are our busier nights. We'll have more, so we're just in the middle of trying to get everything going now as far as the operation.
I mean, these stips don't really say anything. Did you do these stips with them?
I did not.
No, Mark Alonso, my other attorney, was there at the meeting.
I mean, basically, the stuff he's agreeing to is,
No third-party promoters.
Right.
The security, having the video surveillance cameras.
but most of it is stuff he's agreeing to follow the law.
He's also agreed to having contact with the 114th precinct once every 3 months. Soundproof walls. I mean, I think that the community board was very involved in this.
Okay. What's your sister do now?
I believe she's moving to Arizona.
So she's not involved in this at all?
At all.
You heard you were here for the first thing that happened, so I would recommend that she doesn't step foot in the place. All right, you ready?
Yeah. I'm willing to approve. A little bit of adverse history, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you're not going to run it that way and going to make the stipulations part of the license.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll approve with the full stipulations and just on the license, make sure it says no promoters.
Very much.
Good luck.
Thank you very much.
I need you to do a cartwheel.
Yeah.
All right, staying in New York City some more. Next items, 2667, 68, 69, 70, and 71. Milk River Cafe LLC.
Martin Mailer of Mailer Buscemi. Let me say thank you going in because the chairman has stayed the enforcement of the cancellation. Thank you very much.
What number is this?
This is Milk River. This is
67, 68, 69.
I got it, okay.
Standing next to me is the licensee.
So, I mean, the only reason I stayed it was to consider something else, so what should I be considering? Because I mean, I still think this is egregious what went on here.
Well, may I address that?
Sure.
Assuming arguendo, and I'll agree for purposes of this conversation that there was turmoil between December of 2016 and January of 2017, because that was the reaction from the last meeting. That is long ceased. Yes, you can tell me that I think in August of this year, there's now a pending disciplinary for 1066, but that was a spontaneous act, and I believe we were going to go to hearing on that, assuming.
No, okay, and assume that you win that hearing, but once again, it's a spontaneous act that resulted in violence.
Okay, but
which resulted in the police having to come to the location again.
Mr. Chairman, I am not going to argue with what you're saying. What I am trying to tell you is that we've given you a very detailed plan as to what we're going to do. The only time there's a problem in this place, and it's not very often, is at night when the place closes. And we're going to have at least 6 security guards downstairs that will coordinate themselves with the police. We gave you a letter from the police that they don't have a problem with this place in terms of renewal. We've gotten letters from the local officials that they don't have a problem with this place. This is a hard-working businesswoman that, for the most part, runs a premises that doesn't have problems. And I'm not going to belittle the problems that they did have. What I'm asking is that a premises that's been open since 2013, that up until this point did not have problems, be given the chance to stay in business. I'm not asking for free.
So they weren't even open 2 years, though. Many of these charges are from 2015.
Most of the charges relating to 2015 relate to the technical violations when the investigator went in and saw. There are violations and violations. In terms of those technical violations, they stem from the fact that she'd engaged an architect or an expert.
No, I mean, here's my view of this, and you can take it or not, or take back what you came in here with before, is that we had some letters of support that indicated this place is a restaurant. She's not operating as a restaurant.
That's not true.
Well, does she have special events and concerts?
The premises has.
She has DJs.
No, wait a minute. But that was all indicated. She has a downstairs that is a restaurant.
I'm just answer my questions. Does she have a DJ? Periodically?
Yes.
Does she have live music periodically?
Yes.
She's open till 4, correct?
Yeah. On weekends.
So here's what I'm going to do. You're closing at 2. There's no live music, ever. And there's no DJs. If she wants to be a restaurant and can prove to me she's a restaurant for 6 months, then maybe I'll come back and give her the music back. But based on what I've seen, and that's only because that there were people in the community supporting her. But if that's not acceptable, then she can take the cancel and go home. And then there's going to be $20,000 on top of that.
I hear what you say. What is Commissioner Ford?
Well, the only reason I'm willing to go along with this is because you have support from Senator Parker and surprisingly a letter of no objection from the police. So I'm going to throw that in your favor. But I'm going to stick with the 20,000 as well, and I'll go with the chairman with the hours being reduced to 2 o'clock. He's giving you a 6-month probationary period to come back.
And we're going to check on you.
No,
I'm only saying that because I've had problems in this neighborhood giving people second chances, and then the next week they blow it up in my face. So what's going to happen if we come in there and there's a DJ or there's live music? It's going to get revoked, and you're not going to be able to have another one for 2 years, if ever.
Well, hold on. The licensee would just like to say one thing.
I did want to say that when we did open, it's 2 floors, it's 2 separate businesses. That's why we had 2 separate licenses. The first floor we did open as the idea of Milk River was basically an establishment where people can come and stay and basically eat dinner, have live entertainment, and basically a one-stop shop. The name Milk River comes from a river in Jamaica where the slaves would go, and it's the most therapeutic river in the world. The slaves would go after being beaten and just go and and kind of, I would say, gather, and there'll be music and food, and they'll bathe in the water. So that was the idea behind Milk River, to bring to the community a place where people can come and gather and eat and listen to live music. So it's 2 floors. The first floor, it was supposed to be kind of like the Blue Note of Brooklyn. The first floor is a
See,
restaurant.
the
and a
blue,
stage.
the Blue Note doesn't have police cars outside every night it closes.
I understand.
And that's what happened here, and if that stops, then we'll move forward. If it doesn't stop, we're going to end up back here again. And that's the biggest problem I have with it, is every night, not every night, but a significant number of nights that you were shutting, the police had to be there before you shut. And that, some people may disagree with me, but that's not their job. Because under that scenario, then should they be in front of every restaurant when they close at 4 o'clock? They can't do that.
Right. The restaurant itself closes Monday through Thursday at 10, Friday at 12, and the lounge upstairs, the second floor, is open.
There are 2 licenses here?
No, no. Oh, you mean like the ad bar, you mean? No, not 2 separate.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
So you can still operate the restaurant, the DJ and the live music is done for now. You have to agree to that. I can't take that away from you.
Yes.
All right, she's in agreement with that.
Okay.
There you go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We're all set with
Yes,
that? All right.
yes, sir.
Do you want this renewed? 'Cause it's
Yes.
still up.
And your license will be renewed as well.
Okay.
Donald, how are we doing with Albany and Buffalo?
And that, we all agreed on 20,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I got that, yep. All right, we're going to stay in New York. Okay, the next item, 2612, 1755 Lexington Corp.
Francis Buscemi for the licensee. This is after hearing. There were 3 charges of sale to minor. The charge 1 was dismissed by the
Yeah, I'll
AL.
dismiss 1 and sustain 2 and sustain 3.
6,000.
If I could just wanted to point out one thing to you, if I could. These sales were all part of a nuisance abatement action with the same police force involved. I handled the first sale to minor case in criminal court, and as part of that,
Which is the 621 that we dismissed?
right, and I directed I directed the clerk to get the video surveillance, and the video surveillance clearly showed that that he proofed the person that came in, et cetera, and the affidavit from the police department indicated that no proof was shown. He wasn't asked his age, wasn't asked for ID, et cetera. Unfortunately, I didn't handle the other 2 sale to minors with the clerks. There was no video surveillance
Why?
that we could show. I just didn't handle it. The thing
No,
was-
not that you didn't handle it, but why didn't they saw that the first one got,
They should have got, because I directed the clerk specifically to retrieve that. On the others, it had looped over, it was too late, but I just want to point out, it was part and parcel of this one action. I mean, I wish the video was there. This license has no prior record, but you could see what happened on the first date.
well, no prior record, because, am I wrong? It was opened in March of 2015, and the first 2 sales were in 2015. So he has no prior record for 3 months?
I forgot when he opened.
Yeah.
He hasn't had anything since.
Technically correct.
All right, what
He
did you
hasn't had
say?
anything since, and we're going into 2018.
I said 6,000.
All right, I'll go 6,000, that's low, but I'll do
Two
it.
sales to minors.
6,000, should be 10. 6,000. Oh, you have another one?
Next item, 2617 Gun Hill Liquor Warehouse Corp.
This is an alteration application for a liquor store. With me today is Eric Ikolov, the principal of the licensee.
Anyone here in protest? All right.
The liquor store,
Should we let them speak first?
okay.
All right, thank you. Come up and state your name and...
Go ahead.
which about 2,700 square feet was for the sale area, if I recall correctly. And so this was five times the size of our store. And then Gun Hill original store size was more than the four store in the 1 mile radius combined, if you recall that. So I believe for that reason, Gun Hill initial application was rejected in November 2016. And then Gun Hill went back, revised their application, reduced their store size, their floor size to.
I think we reduced. I think it came back on reconsideration, and I think Commissioner Ford asked them to reduce it. Am I wrong,
No.
Mr. Buscemi?
Correct.
Yes.
And that,
At the initial board meeting, Commissioner Ford indicated he might reconsider it if we had reduced the overall
Okay.
size, especially the selling area.
okay, that's what I thought. All right.
Reconsideration, and it came back before you.
Okay.
Yes, and I concur with that information. And Commissioner Ford, yes, you by December 2016, in the second hearing, you approved for their license. Great. Now, a year later, we are here today because Gun Hill would like to request for an expansion of their store, which is going to bring us back to November 2016, when you initially rejected their application.
What store are you affiliated with?
T&Y, sir.
Okay. I mean, they're opening.
About 400 feet away from us.
But it doesn't look to have affected your, well, maybe it did. What,
Did.
we don't have 17 sales numbers?
You did, sir.
We didn't ask for new numbers based on
Okay.
the request to expand.
So what, we all know the timeline here. What's your objection?
My objection is, number one, they did say that they will reduce their store size, and now they're here to expand it.
That's true.
Okay.
So why don't you want, all they're asking for is to expand the storage. So what, they're not looking to expand the retail part of it. Are you aware of that?
No, I'm not aware. I don't get to see the application. I got an email from.
So what they're asking for is to expand the space.
The storage side?
Yeah, where they keep inventory.
Okay.
Not-
Actually, I have no objection to that if that's the case. Sorry,
Here
that
we
was
go.
not brought to me. However, I would like to bring to your attention another point. In the November and December 2016 hearing, in both hearings, Gun Hill represented to the board that they will not sell anything smaller than 750 ml, if I recall correctly.
That's correct.
However, that's not what happened.
Or was it 350? I don't remember. But, so what are they selling? Nips, you're saying?
Anything in between.
Okay, well, we'll send somebody out for that. All right, thank you. We'll send out an investigator to look at that. Okay?
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
As to what was being said, it's basically correct. Initially, we sized down the store. We're here today simply for storage, and there's a very good reason why we're requesting to incorporate this storage for the store. We're not changing the square footage. We sized down the sales area to approximately 1,377 square feet. That remains the same. Nothing changes. The store has taken off and has done very well. In August it had sales of 354,000+. September, 466,000+. October, over 500,000, and in November, over 670,000 for the month. There's a tremendous amount of buying that's going on. The problem we have is that it's costing this licensee between $6,000 and $7,000 a month for bill and hold. There's just simply no reason to have to go through that.
What happened to the law office and that whole scenario and the supply store that was going to be all part of this? They closing? Yeah.
The law office is upstairs. I'm still operating it. The space next door, which was supposed to be a supply store, at that point, I wanted to do one thing at a time. I just didn't have the opportunity yet to do renovations in that store to.
So that's where this is going to go?
Exactly, because it's just, as Commissioner pointed out last time, this area really needed this place. And because of diversification, we cannot keep one product in the store. We need a tremendous amount of inventory to appease all the customers. And again, we need the space because to pay money every month for bill and hold is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Again,
I seem to remember that you weren't going to sell, you were only going to sell larger bottles.
Commissioner, most of the store is larger
Not
bottles.
most.
If
You
I
indicated
have-
you were not going to compete with them.
If I have a case or two of 375s, I'll take it off. It was probably by mistake or whatever it is. But it's not an issue. It's not even an issue.
You would have to keep to what, you agreed to with us.
Yes.
You are an open floor plan, right?
Yes.
And all the other 4 competitors are bulletproof, correct? All right.
This is right next to BJ's
And
Warehouse Club.
All right.
Very cool.
And again, to rent additional space and come back here and cart it back and forth or whatever it is, instead of just turning a closed space into a storage next door, it would just save tremendous amount of money. And again, we're not making the store bigger. All I need is storage. That's it.
And this is property that you already own?
We lease.
Oh, no, you leased the building,
Yes.
all right.
This is leased.
I mean, under your
look,
control.
it just seems like it's just unwarranted. We could keep it the way it is and get a warehouse permit. What's the point?
No.
It's just, and the sales and the volume that's being done, it's obviously a need here. There's, in the community, he's serving the public interest here. You can see that the store is done very well by the sales figures I've given you, and it's become a necessity.
All right. Any other questions, Chairman?
No.
Yeah. I'm willing to approve. I don't see the sense in paying $6-7 grand a month for bill and hold if you can just put it right there too. I completely agree. And this is no change to anything else on the retail side of it,
No,
so
nothing.
I will vote to approve.
I'm going to vote to approve as well. They're not to sell anything smaller than 750.
Yes.
And I'm sending somebody out to check.
Yes, Chair.
And that's going to be very expensive for you if you are.
Yes, Chair.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, 2628 Safari Beach Club, LLC.
I'm going to request that the matter be put over. What's happening here is that back in early November, there's a series of cases that are pending against this licensee. Back in November, including this one, back in November, I spoke to the 2 attorneys in counsel's office that are handling these. We worked out numbers on all of these cases.
Okay, so what do you want, 1220 or?
Or do you want it sent back?
Mr.
You want it sent back to counsel's office so you can work things out?
Mr. Rizzuto's, there's one case where Mr. Rizzuto is looking at some videotape to determine whether one charge is going to stick, whether we can simply reduce a little bit, what the civil penalty is going to be.
So I'll send it back to counsel's office only to negotiate a penalty.
That's all it is. Yeah. Fine.
They're up for renewal. Have you submitted the renewal yet?
About a year ago, I wasn't part, I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not, I mean, I don't know whether my office is doing anything or not. I don't necessarily get involved in the renewals, but I think over a year ago, something I wasn't involved with, they went to sell.
Okay. I was just getting to the point of the renewal
There was a hold put
part.
on it, there was 589 to whatever happened.
They expire the end of this month.
Okay.
Are they planning on renewing?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
I'll bring that up to them. All right.
Yeah. Back to counsel's fine with me.
Okay.
If they do choose to do so, I'll go under that.
Yes.
Next item, 2663 Rushmeyer's Hospitality Group, LLC.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner Ford, Max Bookman for the licensee. With me is Stanley Wolfson. He's one of the principals. This is a CNC on disciplinary charges. I assume the members have read our conditional no contest offer. The only thing that I would want to add is that although there are many charges on the notice of pleading, they really all boil down to one issue which we're addressing, and that is the use of the hotel's restaurant space at night.
Well, actually 2 issues.
And the bar.
No. all of those local regs, and then the fact that they told us that they had all of their approvals in order and they did not.
So what I'd like to say about that, Mr. Chairman, is that everything that this licensee did as it relates to the local regulations was done on the advice of local counsel, who was a former building code enforcement agent of the town of East Hampton. Now, apparently the town of East Hampton has disagreed with their local counsel's view on what was appropriate and what was not for the approvals that were issued at the time. So what they're doing about it is they are working to resolve those disagreements that they have with the town of East Hampton. In the meantime, they're not operating. The license is in safekeeping, and they're not going to take it out until the...
That's because there's nobody there.
Well, but the point is, though, is that
you
don't have to worry about this ongoing activity occurring. There's no ongoing activity. So that's the point of that, is that right now nothing's happening. And when they do take the license out of safekeeping, when the season begins, one of two things will have happened by then. Either they will have worked out their issues with the town, in which case the local issues will have been resolved, or they will not have worked out their issues with the town by then, in which case we have made the representation to you that they will not do anything that they have been approved to do by the liquor authority until such time as the issues with the town have been resolved one way or the other. So that includes the higher occupancy than what the town is saying is currently allowed.
But see, and I believe that you believe that that would be the case, but I have somebody in front of me who, when we asked him a question before, lied to us. And so as a result, yeah, he did, because in order to open, he had to have approvals. And we were told he had approvals, which evidently he did not have.
If I could just clarify that, Mr. Chairman, it's not that they had zero approvals.
No, but he had a lot of, he missed a lot of permits.
Well, this location does have certain approvals for it.
And certain ones he didn't.
And they were advised by their local council that those approvals were sufficient for what they wanted to do. And the town disagrees with that. It was
I don't care how it happened. The bottom line is they didn't, the license was granted conditionally, correct, Jackie?
Sure.
And it was conditioned on all the approvals.
Oh, yeah.
And we were told that they got all the approvals. They didn't. Not only did they not get one, they didn't get a lot of them. So here's what I'm going to do to make sure that he doesn't do what the town doesn't approve of.
It wasn't nefarious. That's my only point, that it wasn't nefarious.
15,000 is low for me. I'm going, because, and by the way, this is an area that we have significant problems in, these types of problems.
Understood, which is why, Mr. Chairman, you could be assured that they are going to...
I am going to be assured.
Well, because the town works with you. I mean, this is not a town that doesn't know how to work with liquor.
But I'm going to make sure that...
I'll tell you right away if they're not
I'm going to make sure he has incentive to work with them. So, 25,000, it's a full-time restaurant, meaning the chef is there any hour it's open. No special events. No DJs live or karaoke, no promoters, and he's going to close 1 a.m. during the week and 2 a.m. on the weekend. Now, he wants to go through half the summer and prove to me he can do all that, then we can come back and try to do it again.
I mean, we have been approved. I mean, the DJ was approved by the liquor authority. It's not like there was a DJ that wasn't allowed.
I realize that, but the dance hall wasn't approved. The lights at the electric box weren't approved. The 150 people in a 47-person restaurant wasn't approved. The illegal CO wasn't approved. The emergency exit wasn't approved. I can go through the whole thing here, and it ended up being a dangerous situation. And they're not going to come looking for you if something happens. They're going to come looking for me.
The licensee would like to say something, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman.
Good morning.
We're before the Supreme Court of the State of New York in Riverhead.
Could you speak more towards the microphone, make sure we get it? All right, sorry.
Very loud. We're before the Supreme Court in Riverhead, New York, on many of these issues. Specifically...
What, allowing 230 people in a restaurant that holds 50?
I'll answer your question in just a second, Mr. Chairman. We were given by the court the permission to increase our load because we challenged the town, and the town agreed, the prosecutor for the town agreed that he was wrong and read it into the record. This has yet to be, the town has postponed the hearing or the trial or whatever it is on 2 occasions now.
So you're telling me that the town agreed that your restaurant could hold 250 people?
I'll get you a copy of the transcript if you'd like.
Well, we didn't agree to that. Your CO doesn't indicate that.
The CO, this,
I mean, this is something you go work out with the town. The problem, and I think the message I'm trying to send to you, before you open, this is all supposed to be worked out. This should be done before you come to me for a license, and it wasn't.
I was told it was.
Yeah, so they had...
Not by us.
There was nothing nefarious here, Mr. Chairman. They really thought, they had been advised by their local council.
But, and that may be the case, but when you put 250 people into a place that we think is only going to hold 50, and something happens with electrical lights plugged directly into an electrical box, or emergency exits that are locked, so if someone should need to use them, they can't, then you have danger.
Understood. What I think, Mr. Chairman, if I can go out on a limb here, my feeling is that if the town is okay with all of this, ultimately the liquor authority is okay with all of this. It's that you want to make sure.
See, I don't know in this town that that's necessarily the case, simply because they tell us they're okay with it, and then in July, when the New York Post starts writing articles about their government, they call us and make me send my guys out there, and that's a problem for us. So I don't know whether they're okay with it or not. I'm never going to be okay with 250 people in this place.
Well, I mean,
so I don't care what the town says about that.
Well, and the occupancy on the liquor license is less than 250, and we would have to come to you again if we ever wanted to increase the occupancy that we.
Yet he put over 220 in there twice and 150 another time, and that was all in the same summer.
And that was a mistake, and they're going to pay for that. But I think
so that, I mean, that's where I'm going with this, is that this isn't going to be a club. If he wants to be a restaurant and operate as a restaurant for a period of time and then come back and get expanded benefits, then I'm willing to do that. But right now, based on what happened here, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, he certainly has. I mean, it's always going to have to be a restaurant because it's a hotel. They need the restaurant. My feeling is that I think that if they could work their issues out with the town as to whether or not they could have
Well, maybe you do that and you come back and ask. But right now, that license that's in safekeeping is going to have all those stipulations on it, or we can go to hearing, which I'm pretty confident we win most of these in hearing.
Commissioner Ford?
Yeah, I'm comfortable with that as well, and give you half the summer to show us a different track record and come back, and we can maybe reconsider at that point.
Okay, so, Mr. Chairman, Commissioner, can we just review what the additional restrictions are going to be again?
He's a restaurant full-time, which means he has a chef when he's open, no special events at all, no DJs live or karaoke. He can have recorded music.
We have weddings there.
Yeah, we have weddings.
You can have weddings. That's it. No promoters, and the hours are going to be 1 a.m. during the week and 2 a.m. on weekends.
You heard the licensee, Mr. Chairman. That's fine.
Okay.
I have a statement I'd like to make.
Sure.
First of all, the place is run by a management company, not by myself.
Well, that might have been the first problem.
Problem, of course. I'm for keeping within the law. However, the town of East Hampton is the most difficult town to work with.
But do you know why that is?
Yes, I do.
A lot of it is because there's so many places that are saying they're restaurants that aren't restaurants. They're clubs, like this.
Look, Mr. Chairman, I'm not guilty because other people break the law. I speak for myself, and what I do, I hold myself accountable for what I do. The town of East Hampton is using your agency as a club. It's in court. They come in every night, I'm told, and, basically disrupt. The occupancy here is in question, legally in question, because of the ordinances that are there that dictate what the occupancy can be. That's before the courts.
That may be, but as I said, there was no way that we would have approved this for 200 people.
Mr. Chairman, with these restrictions that the licensee says he's agreed to, we'll have an opportunity, I imagine, to come back.
Yes.
With a method change application, and sometime during the next year, if assuming all goes well. Correct?
So you're accepting the counteroffer, or you just want a letter and you can think about it?
We'd like a letter.
So, okay.
I don't update the record until such time as they accept.
Correct.
You're going to have to let me know.
Mm-hmm.
When would you be due to open again?
So this is going to be decided, put a number on it by,
They're going to get 20 days, just like everybody else does, and after
Okay.
that, we'll send it back to council's office for a hearing.
okay.
And we'll respond to the letter.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you.
I'm being told that they need to take a break because we have to reconnect Albany and Buffalo.
Okay.
So we're taking a break, everybody.
The museums are next on the calendar, all the councils, all the museums. Oh, we did? Not huge. Your name's going on the press.
Good morning, Mr. Donahue. I would like to know if the case 2605 has been called yet.
No, it has not. It's a little while yet.
Albany, for a moment, we missed. New York City, can you hear us?
Yes.
Awesome.
Oh, my word. Did you do the?
Hear Buffalo?
Yeah, can you hear us? We hear you.
Yes, I hear you loud and clear. Buffalo, can you hear Albany?
Yes.
Buffalo can hear Albany. Okay.
Thank you. Who's at it? Oh, yeah.
Hello, hello. Okay, it's fine, right?
That's
Yeah,
normal.
maybe it's just hit my.
So you have to get the CO. Okay, then just take it. Do a check.
Yeah, I don't know.
All set? All righty then. We're going to call two more items here in New York and then go to Buffalo and then Albany. Next item here in New York, 2665, are proposed changes to a charitable donations advisory that the members have issued.
Mr. Chairman and Commissioner Ford, thank you for having us. I'm Nicholas Holmes. I'm General Counsel of the Whitney Museum of American Art, and we've been working closely with our colleagues at Lincoln Center at MoMA on this issue. We are grateful for the authorities' consideration of this limited exception to the 2015 Charitable Donations Advisory. Donations of alcohol on this limited basis will mean significant budget relief and support to New York's nonprofit community, which provides a substantial public benefit. Collectively, the nonprofit community serves many millions of visitors in the service of our nonprofit missions. This includes many millions of New Yorkers, and we also serve audiences through hundreds of free educational and community programs. We'd like to thank SLA Senior Attorney Alexandra Obremski, as well as Counsel Chris Riano, who were receptive to hearing our concerns. And we'd also like to thank especially Assembly Member Daniel O'Donnell, who brought this matter to the authorities' attention, as well as Assembly Members Deborah Glick, Linda Rosenthal, and Richard Gottfried. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
So this
change is going to allow licensees, not-for-profit licensees, to have 6 specific events per calendar year under certain conditions, correct?
Where they can accept donated product.
Correct.
Right, okay.
For auction?
No.
No.
They can, for service.
For events.
For service.
Service without charge.
And then at the end of the party, anything left over needs to be returned to the donator, correct?
Yes.
That's right.
Okay. I'm okay with this.
I'm fine with it as well.
Good luck.
Good luck.
We're going to need you to do a cartwheel on the way out of here.
That's a requirement.
I know how long this has been going back and forth.
Thank you all very much.
All right, the next item is 2609, for Amigos Express, Inc. I know the licensee's out in the hallway.
2609.
Is the attorney here for Four Amigos? Could you get that gentleman? Yeah, thank you very much. What? There was that one and this one. No,
There's going to be a lot more.
there'll be a lot more. We're just going to go back to Buffalo for a while.
What number again, Tom?
2609.
I don't have that one.
There was an over item.
Oh, what's the name of it?
Oh, yeah.
2609. Is your attorney here?
I do have this. I know I did this.
He did? All right, why don't you have a seat? Okay. All right, we're going to uncall that one, because Mr. Senna's putting money in his meter. Okay, let's go to Buffalo then. I hope. All right. The first item in Buffalo is going to be 2683B, which is a request for an emergency order of summary suspension by counsel's office regarding Buffalo Rebirth LLC.
Good morning, Chairman Bradley and Commissioner Ford. Jamie Gallagher appearing for counsel's office. Can you hear me in New York?
Yes.
Can you hear me in Albany, I hope? Okay. This matter is for Buffalo Rebirth LLC, DBA Trist. It is a premises located in Cheektowaga, New York, and this matter is being submitted for your consideration of an emergency summary order of suspension pursuant to Section 401 sub 3 of the State Administrative Procedure Act. This investigation was initiated after police made a referral to us on November 9th of this year. That initial referral that was received by us on that date detailed multiple incidents occurring on or about the licensed premises with the last on October 31st. And the incidents were increasing in severity and frequency. Following our initial meeting with the Cheektowaga Police, on November 29th, they forwarded us a second referral regarding incidents surrounding November 26th. And on that date, police arrested 6 patrons of the licensed premises after numerous fights and disturbances broke out. They responded to the establishment initially after receiving information that the club was hosting 3 large after parties with 3 different promoters on that evening. And when the sergeant arrived at the location, he found the parking lot to be overcrowded. There were multiple party buses on site. While he was there, 2 large groups of individuals exited the premises with the intent to fight in the parking lot. The police were able to break up that fight before it escalated. However, because of the volatility of the situation, the sergeant decided to assign 2 cars to remain at the location until closing. Later on that morning, another disturbance broke out at the front door of the club between several female patrons, and police then observed a vehicle go speeding through the parking lot, and from the vantage point of the officer, it appeared to hit several pedestrians. They were able to stop the car, and they were told by the occupants of that vehicle that they were being menaced with a gun by an unknown male. Club security also had seen some of this occurrence and alerted officers to the location of the suspect. That individual was ultimately arrested for menacing, resisting arrest. The 2 females who were with the suspect, one of them was found to be in possession of narcotics and was obstructing the arrest of the individual who was menacing people. The other one was in the club. The whole reason that these fights were starting is because this woman was apparently in possession of a taser and was tasing random people inside the club earlier in the evening. They did recover the taser on the person of the male suspect. Police reports
So, wait,
also,
so they stop the car
yes.
and get the driver on the ground, and then the woman hangs around and starts videotaping them with narcotics in her pocket?
She had drugs on her. She was warned to, that she, you can tape us, but please step back. And she starts bumping the officer. And yes, then they arrested her for obstructing. And when they searched her, she had, I believe, cocaine and marijuana on her person. The woman who was tasing people was found in a separate car, sitting in the passenger seat with narcotics in plain view in a baggie in the center console.
And this guy had the taser going off in his pocket. Is that correct?
While the police were trying to arrest him, he began struggling with them, and the taser was going off in his pocket, yes.
She's making this all up.
Right.
You cannot make it up.
No.
You can't.
Yes. So there were also some individuals in a red Mercury, I believe, or a Nissan, a red Nissan. They were driving around the police barricade. Those individuals were pulled over, and narcotics were found in that vehicle. So 6 total arrests, just a complete melee at the location on this evening. There were also...
Do we have evidence that these people were all in the club prior to all this?
Yes. Well, I mean, nobody saw them specifically coming out, but there were large groups dispersing from this club into this lot, and this lot is used specifically by patrons of the establishment. So,
okay.
The woman with the taser was obviously in there because it's the same person who was tasing people inside. She was identified. There were 4 additional incidents involving weapons possession or shots fired occurring in or around this premises since the club opened, and this premises has only been licensed since February 8th. These incidents are escalating. On October 31st, police arrested a patron for DWI and found a pistol, ammunition, and loose rounds on the floor of that vehicle. And on October 29th, police responded to the establishment for reports of shots fired. They found a shell casing in the roadway. On October 5th, police recovered a stolen handgun from the licensed premises. Now, the circumstances surrounding the recovery of this weapon are very unusual. They were contacted by a private investigator who apparently had been hired by the nightclub. The private investigator conveyed to police that back on September 22nd, that security had found the gun in the parking lot. That turned out to be incorrect because when security was interviewed, they stated there had been a promoted event on the night of September 22nd that this individual who was found to be in possession of the gun had been waved through the door by the promoter. They had been wanding people that night, but that person was not searched. And then on his way out of the club, the weapon was in his waistband and fell out, so security retained that weapon, turned it over to the manager and advised her to immediately call police. Well, she ended up locking that gun in a safe. The video that could have identified the person in possession of this weapon was overwritten before police got involved.
Never called police?
Never called the police. Several weeks later, on October 5th, this private investigator calls the police. So the police talked to her. The gun was loaded. It turned out to have been stolen from a burglary in Wales a year prior. And the evidence was lost with the club manager's inaction. Police tried to...
All right, I see you have other incidents here going back all the way to February, but I've heard enough.
Yes.
Yeah. The place opened February 8th, and the first incident was February 14th. And it looks like it's just had a string of stuff here almost every month since.
Guns, tasers, fights, use of promoters who bypass the security protocols, 77 calls to the PD in 10 months.
It's a pretty big building with a pretty big parking lot. It's in an industrial area just a little bit east of Buffalo International Airport, so at least there's no residences around it or nothing like that. But I don't need to hear any more. I'm going to vote to summarily suspend this license. It's obviously a detriment to the public health and safety, and looks like they don't have any control over the place whatsoever.
I'm going to vote to summarily suspend on the same basis, and the most concerning thing besides the clear regular use of firearms in the vicinity of the club is the lack of the management to even call the police when they actually did recover a gun that could have been helpful in solving another crime. So I'm going to vote to summarily suspend.
Thank you.
Thank you, Counsel.
All right, we're going to go back to New York just for one matter. It's at 2609 for Amigos Express, Inc.
Can you put your name on the record?
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Commissioner, ladies and gentlemen. My name is William Senna. I'm the attorney for Amigos Express, Inc., the licensee, DBA El Patron Bar, and its principal, who joins me at the podium, Jose Richardo Gonzalez.
So I called you in here, and I'm not, I see that you put some things in your letter indicating what he's going to do, but my bigger concern is he's only been open a year, or 2 years, I'm sorry, and it's obvious he's losing control of this place based on these charges.
It would appear that the control was not there during the incidents in question, but we're looking to reset and recertify and take control of this operation to the end that there are no further incidents.
Because here's my concern. He went from November of 2015 until September of 2016 without any issue, it looks like. And then all of a sudden, in September of 2016, the wheels came off.
Unfortunately, the manager who was in charge during the late nighttime hours was not the person who he represented himself to be to my client. My client is a family man. He would leave the establishment at 12 midnight and turn it over to his management to be with his wife and his children so he could take care of his family responsibilities, and unfortunately that manager was not the proper person.
And I understand all of that, but no one told him to get in the nightclub business. And you need to be there. So what you proposed, I'm not against, but I can tell you that if you end up back here with this kind of stuff, it's all over.
And I just want to make clear for the record that we do have police referrals that have not yet been charged that have the same sort of conduct that is pretty recent, within the last month.
How many?
One within the last month that came in, I want to say, from an incident dated the 18th of November, which is very similar to the stuff we have here. We just haven't charged
Of
yet.
this year?
Yes.
So is this stuff that you're suggesting he's going to do, is it in place now?
Unfortunately, I believe that the incident that counsel is referring to is another spontaneous incident. We also had an incident where the bartender was charged with a sale to a minor.
See, what happens in these spontaneous incidents, and that's a great terminology, but at the end of it, you get enough of them and they become a police focal point, which is what you have here. Because the cops are coming when you have it. And if they come enough, that charge is the one I don't want to see.
Mr. Gonzalez is one of my oldest and dearest clients, and we've had a lot of heart-to-heart discussions about this, and it's my appreciation, based on his representations to me, that he understands the gravity of the situation and is going to take control, Mr. Chairman.
All right. You see, Jackie, do you have a copy of all these? I don't want to call them
Probably do.
stipulations,
I
but
left my overs back up there. But
I'll hand you mine. But I'm gonna. I mean, everything on here is now going to be part of the license
all right.
because he's offered it, and then I'll take the 20,000 plus what he's offered. So just so we're clear.
You know, it's not so much just taking your $20,000, it's the pattern of behavior here that eventually really, what I've seen since I've been here is this kind of stuff eventually rolls into someone getting seriously hurt. And that's what I don't want to happen. So I'm going to give you an opportunity, since the chairman seems to be as well, to restart the clock for yourself here today, December 6th. Is it the 6th? Yes, December 6th, 2017. I don't want to see you back here again, and if you do, we'll see what happens, all right?
I understand, Mr. Commissioner.
So just so that you're clear, and Jackie, I'll give this to you. Just because it looks like New York is going to legalize dancing without a license, your license that you have with us does not legalize it. We didn't permit it, and you can't do it now unless we do. He's going to close 2 a.m. on weekdays. I'm going to say 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, even though you say 3:15. That doesn't really help me. It'll be 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday. He's going to obtain an ID scanner from TokenWorks Advisor or Dormetrics. He's installed security cameras. And he's hired a professional security company under contract. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. Are we excused?
Yes, yep.
Thank you.
We'll have the renewal issue. I'll issue the renewal.
Yes.
All right, we shall now return to Buffalo. 2615, Sabri Enterprises, LLC.
Hello?
State your name for the record, please.
My name is Iyazan Asayari. I'm representative for Sabri. Actually, this premises has disapproved since August 30th, last meeting, last full board meeting.
Because the applicant didn't appear.
Yeah, that we have been told that is not that important.
You were told wrong, but I'll grant reconsideration. So I'll grant reconsideration right now.
I will as well.
So
yes.
why should we be giving you a license?
Actually, what could we, that's a new license. I'm a new business, new owner of the business. No relation between this business and the previous businesses or previous owners of the building.
Didn't he used to work there?
Me? No, I'm just representative. The owner, he's the one, he used to work there.
So he did have a relationship with the former business.
He worked there, but he has no relationship, no
That's a relationship.
Yeah, but he just was working, and if any violation happened, he was not in his present, not in his shift. He was away from any.
Well, was he working there when there were sales to minor?
No, that's what he told me. He wasn't there.
I think that's incorrect.
He may have been working during the time frame, but are you saying he wasn't involved in the sale to minor violations?
Yeah, he wasn't involved. That's what he told me. He wasn't involved.
You don't have the whole application in front of you. Yeah, I know you have my memo.
Right.
The rest of it's not there. If you need anything, let me know.
In your letter that you that you submitted to us, you indicate that he's got beer already there. Does he have beer in storage right now?
Right now, no. But before, we submit an application and we apply for a temporary license. He get the temporary license and he start work and he did extension for 1 month. But after that, we get the notification that the full board meeting has disapproved this license. Then right away, he, resold this, what he had to return it to the companies. And then he stopped. Now he has no beverages because we tried to contact many times, trying to tell you that we have many beverages, too much beverages, around 10,000 or less.
What did he do with it?
He returned it to the companies.
It was $10,000 worth of beverages, correct? You've returned that to the...
I'm not sure about the number, but it's around that.
That's what it says. $10,000 from beverages in the premises waiting for your help, so we don't lose them all. That's what was written.
Yeah, that's what we tried after after August 30th, when they disapproved the license. We were, worried about that. But
Do you
He
have
has
a,
been-
do you have a license?
Right now,
Yeah.
the license still
No,
there. but
do you own a store yourself?
me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just tax preparer. I help them with the application.
What day was this on when we rejected it?
It was on the
August
August
30th.
30th.
So when did they get the notice? So at least within 2 weeks?
The notice of disapproval? Or
Yeah.
what it showed?
The notice of disapproval,
The email would have gone out within a couple days.
which would have revoked their temporary, correct?
Yep, that's correct.
So so as of October, he still had all his beer in there, even though the temporary was revoked in August, at worst, the first week of September.
No, we try after we get notification that the license is approved. We try to contact, and see what's going on. They said the full board meeting, they are gonna send you their decision. They're gonna send it, but we didn't receive anything. They said when we try to call and when we try to contact.
What I'm
them,
doing
they
is
said-
reading from your email that's dated October 3rd that says you have $10,000 worth of beer in your storage.
Yeah, that's maybe.
Well, your
that
license
time,
was
but-
revoked a month earlier.
Yeah, but that's maybe the last time. After that, we told them that we are gonna go in processing, long process, so we have to get rid. To get rid of these beverages. But what can I state that after the August 30th, there is no beer. Has been sold.
And we have a letter that says the same thing that doesn't have a date on it.
We have a second to talk to council.
Sure.
Excuse us a moment.
Yeah, يقول لك إنه ورج عن هذه حاجة انتبهنا لها لكن إن شاء الله تمشي الأمور تعدي.
Okay. Yeah, we're back on?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the data notification, 9:15.
Okay.
All right.
I'm ready.
All right. I'm not convinced at all about anything to do with this. I'm going to vote to deny. Just seems too, something's fishy here. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to vote to deny. If I'm not clear, that means I vote no.
I'm going to vote to deny as well. That he was a cashier when the sale to a minor occurred. The sale to a minor was a sale to a 14-year-old, and it may have been in several years ago, but he was definitely working at the location. It doesn't mean he did the sale, but he certainly was an employee of the place that felt it was necessary to sell to a 14-year-old, which I haven't met too many of them that would convince me they were 21. And also, I'm not convinced that he was not selling beer after the temporary was yanked, so I'm going to vote to deny. Thank you.
Thank you.
So what we supposed to do? I mean, could we apply for a new license, or what that will be?
This one was denied. Whether you apply again is up to you. There's nothing I can tell you about that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, the next item in Buffalo, 2606 is Roma's Liquor.
I'm Safaga Bromlech, and I'm here for the state of Asafajaga of L, Roman's Liquor.
What was your name?
Saba Gabramlet.
Oh, okay. So we have a charge of availing. I'll sustain the charge. They're clearly, based on what I've read, there's no bad intent here. She got bad advice from either her lawyer and her representative on this. So I'm going to fine $1,500 and require them to file a transfer application if they haven't. Have they already done that?
They had filed it. It was disapproved due to the pending charges. So they have
Okay.
the option either to request reactivation or file new.
So you're going to need to ask for reactivation of your application?
Okay.
Do you want that application to come to the full board?
No.
No, man, I too. We'll go with that. I don't see there was any intention. I just think you got bad advice as well. So 1,500.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, Michelle, I have nothing else in Buffalo.
Nothing else in Buffalo?
Okay, we're going to move to Albany, and next item is 2672, Liquor King, Inc.
Do I stand?
There's opposition.
Okay, we'll hear from those. Well, let the applicant put their name on the record first.
You can put your name on the record.
Spencer Rhodes.
Oh, we're going to hear from the applicant. This is for reconsideration. Go ahead. If we need to hear from the opposition after that, we'll listen to them.
I believe you received the two addendums that I submitted?
Yes.
Okay. So basically, I'll just go through these quickly. One of the main reasons why we want to open the store is for the following. Convenience. Given the location of two grocery stores in and around the River Mall Plaza, it's important to give shoppers the availability of a full-service liquor store, so they don't have to cross town to buy the items that they really want to choose. Shoppers have not had that availability to shop at a full-service liquor location in this location for over a decade. Basically, the situation that you have in the greater Baldwinsville area is this. There are 4 stores: Liquor Express, AK Liquors, Baldwinsville Liquors, and Butterfly Liquors. The only real full-service store out of the 4 is Liquor Express. All of the latter stores, Baldwinsville Liquors, AK Liquors, and the Butterfly Liquors, all have a sales space of retail sales space of roughly 500 square feet, plus or minus. Now, as far as the store in town, which is Baldwinsville Liquors, it's come to my attention that he may be planning to liquidate and sell the building. The only reason I know this is because I know someone who's negotiating for the property. What the timeline is involved there, I don't know. AK Liquors is another small store on the outskirts of town. It's in a plaza where in the last...
You say small, but our records indicate AK Liquors is square footage wise bigger than what you're proposing. It's 2,200 and you're proposing 1665 square feet.
That's the retail area.
Your retail is 1470 from what your application says.
Okay, I stand correct. You're correct.
So who's small, you or him?
Well, it depends how much storage. I'm talking about retail sales area.
Okay.
He may have 2,200 square feet, but his retail sales area is literally about 500 or 600 square feet, plus or minus. The other issue with that store, given history as a guide, there has been a store in that plaza in the last 8 plus or minus years, which closed after a year because it's in a very poor location, to put it bluntly. There's no attraction there. It's way off the road, and there's just not a big call. They have no pull. Then you had Butterfly Liquors, which has been in the plaza for quite a few years. The issue with Butterfly is that basically, to my amazement, the number of people I've talked to in the greater Baldwinsville area won't even go and stop and shop at the store anymore because they never have anything that they're looking for. Depending upon the time of the year that you stop in there, the shelves are almost bare, and it's rather surprising that they're still in business. But nonetheless,
Did you get the sales numbers from the stores in this area?
No, I did not.
Well, per square foot, they're doing more sales than everybody but one of the four closest.
Well, let me tell you a story. My son was home in mid-July from Seattle. He stopped at Butterfly Liquors because he wanted to buy a bottle of scotch for his girlfriend's father. He went into the store, looked for scotch, couldn't find any, looked at the clerk and said, "Tell me, where's your scotch?" The clerk looked at him and said, "Well, the owner says no one drinks scotch during the summer, so we don't have any in the store."
All right, well, so you can give me an example of someone who didn't get what they wanted, but their sales would indicate somebody's buying something.
Well, I understand that, but my point to you is being next to a major grocery store, I would be willing to bet their sales should be quite substantial.
So your argument is because they don't carry scotch, that we should put another store next to them 427 feet away?
Well, that's the other fallacy. My store would be 797 feet away. And if you look at the addendum that was sent by the landlord, he says it's 754 feet. But that's only part of the rationale. The selection is a major factor because, to be honest with you, to get a big selection of anything, you've got to drive way across town to Liquor Express. And you may not be familiar with Baldwinsville, but that's quite a challenge depending upon the time of day.
2 miles.
Yep, but it's through the center of town, very congested traffic-wise. We plan to feature a complete and well-stocked store at all times. We'll feature
How close is your wife? How close is the store you and your wife own from this location?
25 minutes, 20 minutes. It's in Liverpool.
Okay.
And I don't own it any longer. My wife owns it.
Okay.
So that's in Liverpool, and it's a good 20, 25 minutes. We've resided in the Baldwinsville area for 38 years and still reside there. So basically, we'll feature a complete and well-stocked store at all times. We'll feature an extensive selection of New York State wines, which many shoppers in this area are completely unable to buy from any of the current stores in Baldwinsville. Our inventory will include a complete selection of liquor as well as national and international wines. We plan to do wine tastings at least 2 a week on an ongoing basis, and this way we'll further interact and educate the consumer. Also, from an education standpoint, as we ramp up, we plan to get involved with hosting wine seminars for the general public to further enhance retail sales and provide consumer education. For the record, the existing Butterfly Liquor store is actually 797 feet from the proposed Liquor King entrance, but I don't believe the 500-foot rule applies to the retail stores.
It doesn't.
No. Now, the owner of the River Mall Plaza has advised me, as is indicated in the addendum, that the lease for Butterfly Liquors expires at the end of next month. And there's been no movement to renew the lease. They reached out to Butterfly Liquors regarding a lease extension before they began negotiating with me. Butterfly Liquors never showed any interest, and they in turn signed a lease with me for the proposed Liquor King store. I have a signed lease in hand with a 5-year option to renew. Additionally, I have 27 plus years experience, success in the retail liquor wine business, and can and will bring a meaningful and professional presence to the Baldwinsville market and profoundly and positively affect the lives of Baldwinsville and outlying area residents. As the area surrounding River Mall continues to expand and gentrify, it's important that the area businesses step up their operations to meet the needs of today's busy consumer. Liquor King will accomplish exactly that. Now, according to the Liquor Authority, your fundamental concern and parameter in granting new licenses is to promote public convenience and advantage. And that's exactly what a complete full-service store like Liquor King on that side of town will do. Currently, as I mentioned before, many consumers are not even bothering to shop there.
He's not going to stop.
You know something, I really just have one question, and that's going to be the crux for my decision, one way or the other. And that is Butterfly Liquor staying or going?
That I can't answer.
Are they there? They're not there.
Yes, I'm here.
All right, let's have them speak. I'd like to know. State
Good
your name,
morning.
state your name, please.
Yes, my name is Amanda. I'm the manager over at Butterfly Liquors. We are planning on staying, and we've tried to renew our lease, but we wanted it said and stated in the lease that no competitors in the same plaza as us, and they said, well, we can't do that right now. We gotta wait.
Of course they can't. They signed a lease with somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you guys got all the paperwork I faxed over about
Yes.
how the community feels about another liquor store.
Well, that's not really my concern. So, we did get your paperwork, though. Can someone tell me what the population is in this village?
Yes, it is.
Because I'm seeing different numbers than what you submitted, and I looked it up myself, and I just want to see what you have.
The population's about 73, 78. And there's actually 5 liquor stores in Baldwinsville already. And the newest one that opened up on August 25th, 2017 is A&K Liquors, which is approximately 1.4 miles from our liquor store.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you need to hear from any of the other ones, or?
So, hang on a second.
Okay.
So you can't answer my question whether or not you're still going to be there next month or not.
Yes, we are.
Do you have a signed lease?
We've been trying to contact the leasing agent. I mean, I will leave today and drive down to Brooklyn and sign the lease if need be.
Okay. Have a moment, counsel, please.
May I make one other comment?
Hang on.
I'm making sure that lease gets signed.
You wanted to say, sir?
Well, I guess my other point is, given the operation of the Butterfly Liquor Store, why would the plaza owner sign a lease with me if they were happy with the way in which they were performing?
Probably because they wanted to rent some vacant space, I would think. So, in any case, I'm ready to make a decision here. This is 26. I'm going to vote to deny at this point. I don't have.
Are you denying reconsideration or granting reconsideration and denying?
We'll grant reconsideration and then vote on it.
All right, I'm granting reconsideration. And then I'm going to vote to deny based on the fact that we just opened another store there in the area recently, and the fact that there is another store right there several hundred feet away. If that changes, you can always reapply.
But what about Township 5 and Costco? They're even closer, Bin and Barrel.
I gave you my reasons.
I'm going to vote to deny as well. The closest store, which is, whether it be 427 feet or 790 feet, it is what amounts to almost in the same plaza as the applicant. There's five stores within this village of 3 square miles. 4 stores within 2.1 miles, and the village itself looks like it has a population of under 8,000 people.
There's quite a bit of outlying suburban and area.
Well, yeah, and they're apparently all coming to Baldwinsville to shop for liquor. It's definitely not, in my view, a public convenience or advantage to put another one in this spot. As Commissioner Ford said, if Butterfly ends up closing, you're welcome to reapply, obviously, and if the other place is looking to sell, I would suggest you approach them as well, because if somebody does leave, I would be amenable to putting another one in there.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I have one more item in Albany. It's 2618, 352 Route 80 Associates, LLC.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good one.
2618, Tom?
2618.
Good morning. My name is Ronald Ingber. I'm a member of the LLC. My associate Dave Gordon is intending to buy shares in that LLC. We don't have anything further to contribute. Just here if you have any questions or need any clarification.
Why are you adding him? He's paid. It appears you have a business that's been running for how long?
August was 5 years.
And you're going to sell him a percentage of that business for $20?
He's taking over the full responsibility of running the business. It's he's going to be leasing the business from me.
Say that again?
Yeah.
That's not what he applied for. He applied to be a principal on the license with you, not a lessee or a lessor.
He will have day-to-day management responsibility.
Well, what's he paying you for this wonderful opportunity?
A monthly fee.
How much?
$1,000 a month plus 50% of the taxes on the building.
I'm going to deny this, and I'm going to suggest you go see a lawyer and reapply. That's not the proper way to present this. It's not. You can't make him an owner and say he's going to lease it from you. The setup is all wrong. You need to go see a lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Yep, I'm going to deny as well.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Della, I have nothing else in Albany?
No more items in Albany.
All right, and you can go ahead with those other two matters from earlier.
Okay, thank you.
All right, going back to New York City, next item 2622, Brooklyn Wine and Spirits, LLC.
Do we have opposition here as well? Oh. No? Okay.
Morning, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, Richard Burstein for Brooklyn Wine and Spirits, and I have here with me Rick Kelleher, who's the 100% owner. This is an application for a 1,232 square foot package store in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. It is located in a new shopping center, relatively new shopping center, across the Belt Parkway, and it's within sight of the Verrazano Bridge, just to give you a snapshot of where it is. Bensonhurst population is almost 200,000 people. It's been growing at more than 3% a year. The competitive stores are what I would call urban.
How many are bulletproof of the 5 closest, do you know?
None are bulletproof, but none of them have any dedicated parking. The 4 closest have no dedicated parking. The 5th closest has 3 dedicated spots. This location they'll be leasing from BJ's is a 500 square foot covered parking garage. I would also did provide exhibits,
Yeah, we have them.
but with your permission, I'd hand up, because in color, it's a lot easier. I don't know if you had a color printer.
You can hand them up.
It's a lot easier to see in color.
Oh, thanks.
So you can see that the closest store, first of all, there's a distance. Nobody's going to be walking here. These are urban stores. You have to cross the Bell Parkway, you have to go under the underpass, and then it's more than a half mile from the closest store. The closest store specializes in sales to people of Russian descent. There are 2 large coolers with heavy cold vodka for sale, and it's all 200, 350 mils, small transient walk-in. Same with store 2. Store 3 is Asian population, a lot of signs in Chinese. And again, all of these stores are in also no parking, transient, small sizes. We have 500 covered parking garage. And again, this is walking, all these have transient walk-in sizes. This store has been here 17 years. They're by a giant shopping center. I'm sorry.
I think we get the picture. What's he going to do at his store?
1,232 square feet. It's adjacent to a BJ's. They're leasing from BJ's. There's no connection. It's a straight triple net lease. The only connection is BJ's is the landlord. And again, for public convenience and advantage of people going to be shopping either at the BJ's or at the adjacent Caesar Bay Shopping Plaza.
How much of the 1232 is retail? All of it?
Yes, it's going to be pretty much everything is going to be on the grounds and in the store.
You're saying that you're not going to stock anything lower than 375 milliliter, is that correct?
That's correct.
So the one question I have is, you own 55 liquor stores. Have you ever been in any of the other states? Have you ever received any violations?
Yes.
And what were they?
Yeah, they were minor violations of serving people underage.
How many?
There's probably been a half a dozen over probably 200,000 to 300,000 transactions.
And you live in Boston?
I live south of Boston in
So,
Duxbury, Mass.
how many of these stores, besides, you indicate you're going to be partially managing this one, how many stores do you do 10 to 12 hours a month at?
1 or 2. The other stores they're not liquor stores, they're hotels. We have some 75 hotels with liquor licenses. And we have
They're all up and down the East Coast, or?
all over.
Okay.
California, Florida, Hawaii, you name it, we're there.
And you're active in all of them, periodically?
I'm active periodically in them.
Wow.
But we have.
I hope I'm at your age not that active in anything.
I'm not that old. Old as a state of mind.
I guess so. I'm just thinking all the flights you're getting on.
A lot of frequent flyer miles.
Yeah.
I was going to say,
They have
wow.
24 hours video surveillance.
Right.
I will say they're very good operators. They know what they're doing. They monitor every sale. Every sale is ID'd.
Okay.
You good?
Yes.
I'm looking at the other stores. They're kind of like just holding their own, if anything. But I do agree that where you're located, there's no walk-in traffic. You're kind of completely dependent upon BJ's customers. So it is a destination, and I do think that is a public convenience and advantage that will be served by your location there. So I'm going to vote to approve.
I'm going to vote to approve as well on the same grounds.
Thank you.
And also noting that there's no objection from any of the closest stores.
Yes.
Thank you. Have a good
They
day.
get paid extra for the carpool.
Yeah.
If you can do it. You're too old.
Next item, 2647 Broadway Myrtle Corp.
Good afternoon. My name is Daniel Lynch. I am one of the licensees on this application. I'm also an attorney. I've appeared before you before, about 6 weeks ago. This is a request for reconsideration post conditional approval. Conditional approval was granted on August 11th. There was a letter of revocation on the 18th, and request for reconsideration was sent in on August 25th. Counsel in this case is Mr. Levy. Mr. Levy is out of the country, asked me to stand in today because we don't want to adjourn it further. The only issue with regard to the revocation is a 200-foot issue with regard to a building at 1148 Myrtle, which operates as a church.
Let me just cut you off here. We sent an investigator out. It's clearly within 200 feet of this location. The question is whether it's used exclusively as a church. Our investigator spoke to the Reverend, who he got the feeling was not being fully truthful with him about what was happening on the third floor of the building. And then he spoke to a neighbor who indicated that the third floor of the building had been rented out to a tax preparer during business hours during the tax season, which would take this building out of the 200-foot law because it was not being used exclusively as a church. So based on that finding, I'm going to find that it's not subject to the 200-foot law.
Thank you.
Same here.
So return to licensing for...
And return to the licensing board, yes.
So we're going back to conditional status, is that?
They will, once it gets back to them, they'll send you a letter.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. Commissioner, Chairman. Thank you.
Next item, 2673, which is a request for declaratory ruling regarding the 200-foot law and 4143 Division Street in Manhattan.
Morning, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford. My name is Alexander Victor. I'm the attorney for an entity to be formed in the future and apply for a license at 4143 Division Street. There's a large complex called the Confucius Plaza at 40 Division Street. This complex has about 762 apartments. It has an eyeglass store, a piano store. There's a commercial parking garage, right underneath the school, and it's our contention that this building is obviously not used exclusively for academic purposes.
And I will agree with you.
As do I.
Thank you.
So it's not subject to the 200-foot law.
Thank you.
Next item, 2620 JAV Tiger Mart, Inc.
Neil Trivedi, representing JAV Mart. I think we were here 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, we have a email from the town indicating that you've done what you're supposed to have done with them and that they have no objection. Not the town, the village of Hempstead. You do have some underage sale history, but none of it's recent. Well, actually, there is one recent. What's he doing for underage sales?
Well, he has training. He has already trained the employees. He's also bought a machine that checks ID. Do you have that receipt? Yes. He's got.
All right, I'll vote to approve. We just need the receipt.
Does he have them at all his stores or just
Do you have what?
the scanners at all his stores?
Do you have scanners at all your stores? Yes. Why is he required to?
Well, no, you're saying make sure he has a scanner. Is he going to just take it from one store to the next?
Oh, no, no, at this store. You need a scanner at this store.
Bought for just this store, yes.
Yeah, we have that.
Okay.
So hand the receipt up. We can keep that, or do you want to give us a copy? All right, well, send a copy in. You don't need to give it to us then. Just have one sent in to us.
Condition.
And then I'll approve with the condition that we receive the copy of the receipt.
We have it in an email, so we can have it.
Okay.
Thank you.
I approve as well.
All right,
Thank you.
All right, then while we're here is 2607, which is Hofstra Petroleum Ink.
Yeah, they're right across each other, pretty much.
This is across the street?
Yes.
Do we have a letter from the,
Yeah, we also have an email from the village indicating that you've fulfilled your obligations with them, and they don't have any problem with you getting a license. So I'll vote to approve.
you have a scanner for this one too?
Yes, we do. You need a seat for that?
Yes,
Yes,
probably,
yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, it's all right.
You can compete with yourself.
Oh, thank you.
Good luck with that. All right.
Killing the competition.
Killing the competition.
All right.
yes,
Then the next items, 26, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60 is the Flamingo Restaurant and Mantra Lounge.
If I may, I do have another matter. If you could call out a calendar, please. I just need an adjournment on that one.
What number is it?
It's 02603.
Okay, hold on for a second.
I
That's
just
in-
saw it on the calendar, and I don't think my client is
Well,
aware of it.
Hold on, because someone else signed in for that. Did you sign in for that?
I did.
Okay. Oh, at the very end, okay. 2603, Shooters Tiki Bar and Grill, Inc.
No, it's 02603.
26 what?
02603.
Yeah, that's Shooter's Tiki Bar and Grill, right? That's what we
2603,
have.
Shooters Tiki Bar and Grill.
No, it's Shriji.
So, did somebody else sign in for this? Okay, so
It's at the wrong bar. That's what
I want you to know.
02603 is Shooter's Tiki Bar and Grill.
Okay, I'm talking about Shriji.
Why don't you come over here for a second, all right? All right. The next item is 2655, 56, 57, 58, 59, and 60, Flamingo Restaurant and Mantra Lounge. Hold on just for a second.
Aren't you heading to Florida soon?
Wish.
Find it on there.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I'm glad to see you got through the accident, okay?
Yes, I managed. Thank you. The concern here is overwhelming. This is a premises that has had some concerns over the last year or so, a year and a half. Before me is the licensee, as well as her son, who's the manager of the premises. We have been in constant contact with the precinct since August, and at this point, the precinct is satisfied with the way we have operated at this point. I represented the prior licensee here, so I know this premises has, even that location had problems. It's in an area where the clientele tends to be a little difficult, but we have presented a new security plan to the police, as well as a new security company. Our management team has also been revamped.
So the last charge is from August of this year. Do we have anything else?
We do. I'm just looking here quickly.
Are you aware of the other ones?
No, that's cold.
I'm so sorry,
Cold.
Frank. Hold on.
What am I supposed to not ask?
It's a trade name, please. Improper renewal.
Possible it's incorporated. So,
We have had no, I mean, it may be a referral.
So no
but we've had
police?
nothing since
No
August.
police?
I think it's incorporated. Yeah, so I don't have anything.
Okay. I'll accept the offer. What's the,
I know.
so 10 days from when they get the letter, Tom?
The suspension?
Yeah.
Oh, kick in a week to two after, you'll get something in the mail.
Is there any possibility of potentially upping the fine and lowering the days? Would you
Yeah.
consider that?
Yeah. I'll take 25,000.
And no days?
Yeah.
Is that acceptable too? I want them to look at me. It's acceptable.
I don't know if he will, but
Yeah,
That's,
that's fine.
last one though.
I get it. I've told them that.
Last stop for gas on that one, all right?
But they're telling me the next time we're here, you're going to be here with another lawyer and probably.
All right, we're going to take 2643, which is Roosevelt Deli Grocery. That's one you picked? Right, that's it. That's the DBA, Roosevelt Deli Grocery. That's it, yes.
And Neil Trivedi for the respondent.
And there's a reason you didn't know about this, because the charge got dismissed. So,
Nothing to,
nothing for you to do, except unless you want to argue with me about a dismissal.
And Commissioner Yard?
Dismissed, yes.
All right, the next item, 2614, Sabre Colombiano Enterprises, Inc.
Is there any opposition here?
Good morning.
That makes it a better morning for you, yes, I'm
it
sure.
does. Craig Johns, I'm an attorney from up in Rockland County. I'm here with my client, Melita Diaz, who is the sole owner and shareholder of Sabor Colombiano Enterprises, Inc. I was notified when I made the application that a temporary would not be available because there had been prior issues at this location. The prior issues at this location were some time ago, I believe 2 years ago, where another applicant made an application here and the local police department submitted an objection when they submitted the 30-day notice to the village. There are a number of items in that letter that do not address the current situation. For instance,
Well, just so you're aware, the police department submitted an objection to this one as well.
I haven't received a copy of that. In fact, I spoke to the lieutenant who had issued the first one, and he indicated that the town board was not objecting to this, and that the police
Am I
department
wrong in that, Chris, or-
was
That's
not-
what I see in Jack, I'm checking.
Police department was not taking a position on it.
Well, they have a regular position with our agency that they don't want any more restaurants in the village. That's the one thing I'm aware of, and
I will.
yeah, and I have a letter from the, yeah, I have that. I'll let you look at this letter, which is November 6th.
Of this year.
Yeah, that's adamantly opposed to this.
I have not received. I don't
You're
know
welcome.
why I
You can
wouldn't have
take it.
received. Thank you. You have another copy of it?
Mine is a copy, so.
They also, you should have the supplemental, they emailed on 22nd some police reports.
And so what's happened, at least since before I've been here, is when they're adamantly opposed to us licensing a location, I generally take them at their word and I don't license it. So I think we'd be wasting everyone's time if you tell me how great she is. And I already had concerns about it because there's already a license in the same building. But they made it clear to me that they're not comfortable with it, so I'm not comfortable with it, so I'm going to deny it.
Despite the fact that this has been an up-and-running restaurant for quite some time, it's only a beer license, it's not a liquor.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's up and running. I know she has another place that she seems to do fine with.
Correct.
But they don't want anymore because they believe that it's causing criminal activity in the village that they can't get their arms around, and they have limited resources, and I'm going to try to support them in that. If you can convince them otherwise, then you're welcome to come back.
Could we, they spoke to the lieutenant, but I'd like to go have a sit-down with the police department because of the nature of this particular restaurant. Police have been there many times when there have been large parties. There's never been trouble. They've been there for over a year.
Yeah.
Could we put this matter over for a little bit, and I will go have a sit-down?
Well, why don't you just go, why don't you let us deny it and then just ask for reconsideration? That gives you more time. And then if it does change that they are on board with it, I'll grant reconsideration just on that fact, and then you can make your presentation.
Okay, all right.
But,
Thank you
but
very
in,
much.
in this letter, it's saying it's not you, it's just saying, the police are saying it's in our highest density area for assaults and high density area for robbery, so.
I understand that, but
just
she's
can't-
there anyway. The customers are there anyway, so I don't know what serving beer there would have to do with things that are going outside in the neighborhood if they're allowing businesses to open in the first place.
Yep, and that's a great valid point to make with the police department.
There's very few police departments who have asked us to do this, and they're one of them. That's why we do it. I can only think of one other one, and it's in Long Island. And it's because they believe that the licenses attract a criminal element to their village because of the number of licenses they already have there. And that's what they truly, I've spoken to them, they've made that clear. This is another submission that they gave us, if you want to take that with you. From the police department that came in after that letter. That is an attempt to support their position. So I'm going to deny this, and you're welcome to ask for reconsideration. You'll get a written decision, and then how long do they have? 30 days from then?
I think that's the current practice, 30 days after reconsideration, but you can always check with council to get an extension.
Okay.
Yeah, if you email the,
And
I'm sure.
Commissioner Ford, you're good
Yes,
with that?
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely, yes.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
folks.
Can we
Next
take-
item-
I'm going to take, oh, go ahead, we'll do this last one.
Okay. Next item is 2674. This is a request for declaratory ruling regarding Double L and their online gift certificates.
Hi. Good
Hi.
afternoon, everyone. This is for,
Could you state your name for the record,
oh, I'm
please?
sorry, Lauren Leonard and David Leonard. My attorney is not here.
Is he coming, or do you need him?
I don't know.
No, I mean, I don't know either.
You're not paying him if he's not here, I hope, though, so, no, all right.
Okay, good.
But we're just looking for approval of the business model. We changed it to meet, I believe, the first time around, you didn't like the percentage that I was taking.
Yeah, you were taking 50%, which is a lot. Now you're taking 10%.
Right, correct. And a refund policy also was put in place.
My one question on this, and I do have to go talk to my lawyer about it after I ask you, is what if you get these gift certificates, what if the bar goes out of business before the gift certificate is executed?
Well, I confirmed with my, because I was working on a site, but I wanted to make sure I'd be able to conduct business and that they would be able to do refunds.
So they get 100% back, or even your $2 fee, or no?
$2 fee, it would, but there'll be other businesses where it can be used, but.
Oh, it's not, so the gift certificate is not just for one place, you could go to multiple different places?
The idea is to have multiple restaurants sign up.
Oh, okay.
Go to,
So what if one of the ones closes that's signed up and that's the one they wanted to go to?
they can just use it somewhere else.
What if they don't want to do that? They bought it for that restaurant.
Well, the person is buying it for someone, and then the person that receives the gift will go onto my site and see.
Oh, these are 100% gifts, so they're bought by one person and always in somebody else's name?
Yes, it's given to somebody else.
Okay. Can we just take 2 minutes? You guys can sit down, because we're going to take like 5 minutes.
On the record with 2674.
Chairman, do you have any other questions
No.
about this one? I'm willing to approve.
I'll approve as well.
Thank you.
All right.
Good luck.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Enjoy your holidays.
Same to you.
Next item, 2605, Dorlu LLC.
My name is Becca Brennan, the principal of Dorlu.
You don't look anywhere near as mean as they're making you out to be.
I don't believe everything you
Are they here? Is the community board here? Okay, come on up, unless you don't want to. Hi.
Afternoon.
Sandra McFadden.
I can't hear you, I'm
Pull that
sorry.
mic down a little bit. Yeah.
This way?
Yes,
There you
yep.
go.
Okay. Good afternoon, Cassandra McFadden.
So she's asking for an increase in hours in a sidewalk cafe, is that correct? Yes. And you don't want her to have it?
We're in opposition for it for the following reasons. I don't know if you all got a copy that we had.
Yes,
sent
we
in.
got all the stuff that you sent in, yep.
Okay. The main issue that we have with the establishment is her workers, her employees. It seems like when she leaves the premise, then they seem not to follow the proper protocol for her business establishment or what she put in. They played loud music. One of them actually verbally assaulted me. They use a lot of profanity, and one of her workers, but he's not present, actually, they smoke on the premise. So they're not following the proper protocol.
Okay, do we have any complaints about this?
I don't think so, but I will check.
She's only been open, 6 months.
And what we would like to bring to you all's attention is that according to, being that her workers had exhibit some level of violent behavior towards some members of the community, we were
Well,
wondering.
when you say violent, you mean
Okay, well, hey.
somebody been hit?
Well, one lady was actually assaulted by one of her workers.
Physically?
Physically.
Did they call the police?
I cannot say because I didn't have direct contact with her for the present. But I know for myself, I was verbally assaulted, and I'm talking about the stuff that come out of their mouth is appalling.
Well, I can do a lot of things in this seat. The one thing I can't do is regulate someone's speech.
That is so true. But we're
I can
wondering-
ask them
Right,
to be nicer,
right.
but I can't really dictate what language they use.
Understand that. But there is, on the books, verbal harassment is against the law.
It may,
But-
that may be, ma'am, but
Okay.
that's something that the police have to deal with.
All right, but there's a point that I want to bring out that's very important. We would like to know if she's done a thorough background check of her workers, because there is in your SLA handbook that felons cannot sell liquor, on-site liquor, and that you have to be 21 years or older, and there's other offenses that they didn't specify.
Well, I'm not going to ask her that because we don't have any complaints about her business or her employees, and whether I'm sure she's aware of her obligations under the law. I will ask her that. But just because someone is throwing around salty language doesn't make them a felon.
I didn't say about them, no.
That would
I didn't say that they were felons. I just said, can we request the community that she do a background check to make sure she's not hiring felons?
You can request anything, but it doesn't mean she's going to abide by it, and I'm not going.
She's licensed as a restaurant,
Yes.
so changes in law, felons can,
There are
assuming, for the sake of argument, there were felons employed there?
Oh, in the restaurant doing cleaning or whatever, or
No. There were changes in the law 5 years ago, maybe less than that.
no, it was like 3.
Well, that's less than that.
Yeah.
That certain on-premises licensees, including restaurants, can employ felons.
So the background check would, in that instance, would be pointless.
Okay, but I think someone should periodically, from your division, check over there.
Well, we do bring charges against bars that have hired felons, but as you just heard, restaurants are permitted to hire ex-felons.
Then you need to upgrade your website, because we pulled it from the website.
But I don't really have any, even if that's the case, I don't have, other than the fact that you're telling me that 1 or 2 of the employees seems to.
But there's a quality of life issue, playing the music loudly after a certain hour. Now, what is her time frame?
Well, I can ask her all that, but here's the problem, and I don't know whether you're on the community board or just an active citizen. If these things are happening over the last 6 months, we haven't heard about them until today. We have a whole complaint process that's in place where you can file anonymously, you can put your name on it, we'll take phone calls, you can come in. There's multiple ways you can file complaints about a place. We don't have one about this place.
Well, we had contacted our elected officials on this matter.
Well, we don't have anything from them either.
Okay, so, well, make sure.
We did get a letter indicating that they are supportive of the community board recently, but we don't have any letters indicating specific incidents when they occurred.
Well, the community board did deny her application to extend her hours.
I know, but you're bringing up all these incidents that allegedly occurred over the last 6 months, but we've never heard about them until we got your paperwork. If there's incidents occurring, you need to file complaints.
Okay, and complaints directly to you all.
Or the police department.
Okay, I see the glitch here. We've been making our complaints known to our community board 8 that governs her area. So we need now make our complaints directly to you all.
Yes, but as I said, there's not much, if it's somebody that you believe is harassing you, that's a criminal offense and you need to call the police.
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, I just think she needs to be monitored.
Okay.
Very carefully. Thank you.
Well, that we can do.
Thank you.
Your bag, Cassandra.
There's what?
There's one thing we'll have to discuss.
Okay. How often are you at this place?
All the time, at least every day.
You close it too, or?
Not every day, but up until this past week, yes, I closed 3 nights a week.
Are you aware of all these complaints, or did you become aware of it during this application process?
I became aware of it at the community board hearing.
During the application?
The first time I ever heard about it was at the hearing. And I double-checked with the police, and they also had no 311 or 911 complaints.
No 311 or?
Did you check with your employees to see if anything that Cassandra said corroborate anything? Did they have any interaction with her?
I did talk to someone brought, or during the hearing, someone did say something about verbal harassment. I talked to him, he confirmed it, and I told him he would lose his job if it ever happened again.
Okay, so you did take care of the situation.
Immediately.
Did you hear that? Could you say that again?
I dealt with the situation the day after. I spoke to the employee, and I told him he would lose his job if something like that ever happened again.
Okay, thank you. There's a few things on here. I don't know that's within our jurisdiction. What is this about she wants you to modify fake bullet holes in the walls, negative advertisements? What's all of that about? Any idea?
Yeah, there was a situation back in, I think, in July, where it was a big mix-up. There were construction holes in my wall that some Gothamist, which is no longer with us, reported were fake bullet holes, which they were not.
Gotham, the website.
Gothamist, yeah. That spun out of control. I did actually put art made by a community member up on that wall. and now it is his wall for him to curate as he pleases.
Okay. What are your hours?
Currently, we are open Thursday, Friday, noon to midnight, and Saturday, Sunday, 11 to midnight, Monday through Wednesday, 3 till 11.
And you want two across the board?
Yes, just to make it so I don't have to monitor every day with my employees if I'm not there.
And as far as outdoor service, I mean, it's December. Do you really need that right now?
No, but I'd like to have it once, May rolls around. I do have the sidewalk cafe, and we only have it for dogs right now, but I'd like to extend it.
Before you vote on that, I'd like to have a discussion with council regarding the sidewalk cafes.
Yep.
Okay, we can go out to No. Oh, yeah, are we back on?
Back on the records.
So a question we have is, how do you plan on enclosing the sidewalk area? Yeah, there's planters there now, or something like that?
Yeah, and so we plan on, there are two, and we plan on moving one. And then, sorry, we have two right now next to each other. We plan on, per the diagrams, we plan on moving one to conform with the diagrams, because right now it's kind of extending farther than it needs to enclose. And then we plan on getting those temporary,
Stanchions or something
yeah,
like
that's
that?
what they provide for free.
How many tables? You said outside?
I think it's 9 max, and 18 seats max.
Is this what?
Yeah, you're right. You have, yeah. Is this the permit that you were given for an unenclosed sidewalk? Okay.
So you're,
Then that's a conflict with us. So you're indicating unenclosed, but you're enclosing it with either stanchions or planters, which.
so here's the problem.
Confused too. I'm sorry, but I thought, yes, I thought unenclosed meant I didn't need any barriers either. But then when
You do for us,
okay,
but the city, if they give you unenclosed, is going to come see the barriers and tell you have to take them down. So you have a problem with there's a conflict between our law and their law.
Actually, let me ask a question. Is this and I know that this may, and if you don't know the answer, that's okay.
Okay.
There are three types of cafe licenses for outdoor permitting, from what I remember from the community board: enclosed sidewalk cafes, unenclosed sidewalk cafes, and I believe small unenclosed sidewalk cafes. Is it your understanding that you have an unenclosed sidewalk cafe license or a small unenclosed?
An unenclosed.
So that would be okay because they can put a barrier on that one.
That's the third, okay, the third one. Okay.
Okay.
Got it, right?
Yep.
Um,
All right. So that solves that problem.
Yes. All right, well, you ready to vote?
Yes.
I don't see a problem with it. I like the fact that the employee who you said you had, who she said had issue with, that you immediately dealt with it. Your hours, you just want to go to, what, 2 every night? Is that what you wanted?
Across the board, just so that I don't have to come back here with complaints that we closed at 1 when I wasn't there on a Wednesday, you know, just, I think it would be easier.
Oh, so you don't intend on actually extending your hours? It's actually just because you would like the...
To not get in trouble if one night we do extend our
Okay.
I'll go with 1 during the week and 2 on weekends. I'm willing to do that.
We do 2 on Thursdays?
Yes.
Yeah. 1 during the week and 2 Thursday through Friday.
Saturday.
Saturday, I'm sorry.
And then I'll approve the sidewalk cafe as well, assuming it's compliant with city law.
Can I also ask you something else? Can you supply some type of contact for yourself in case there's any other issues like that the community has, that they could reach out to you?
The community has my number and my email.
That they can deal with you directly?
And you live in this area?
3 blocks away.
Okay.
So what's the... You don't know?
What?
What the issue is?
No.
You don't, you seem like someone that's easily dealt with, so I don't understand what their issue
No
is.
one ever comes to me directly. They always wait for a public forum.
Okay.
All right.
All right, she'll make sure you have she'll make sure you have her number.
Make sure you have the same information that the community has, okay? Thank you.
Good luck.
Good luck.
The next item, 2624 8th Street Wine Corp.
Did they put the renewal in, Jackie?
That's what I'm going to go check.
Have you renewed?
We have.
Okay. All right, so you defaulted on a sale to minor.
What do you mean defaulted?
Well, you were charged with it. The charge was delivered to your location on October 16th and put in the hand of somebody at the location, and no one responded to it.
We pled guilty, and it was sent, and then it was sent back to us with a check. And when I called the other day, they said that you accepted the plead guilty, the guilty plea.
Am I in the wrong case here?
2624?
Hold on just for a second.
24.
And what'd you plead guilty? What was the fine?
That's why I'm here.
Oh.
When I called yesterday, they said that the
Who
fine
did
would be
who did you
determined.
call?
I don't know the person's name.
So you just...
Well, what was it? Legal secretary's office? Who?
It was number 3 when you called the SLA.
A CNC had been received.
something. Do you see
Yeah, CNC was received.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, what
Yeah,
was it?
It was sent as a default, and then 10 days later, apparently it was a CNC received. Your check came back because it was a personal check.
No, the check came back because they said I didn't check the exact part
Okay.
of the application.
Apparently, after it was sent as a default, counsel's office started processing it as a non-calendar CNC bill. That's the confusion.
All right, well, what was the CNC? What was the amount, do you know? What was your check?
3,200?
3,500.
3,500.
All right, and which is the normal amount, because you're a liquor store.
Correct.
So it's, for your first sale, it's 3,500, so I'll take 3,500. Not take, I'm gonna accept the CNC. This is, make sure the default's not on his record.
All right.
And I'll accept the CNC, I'm assuming it was 3,500.
Was that your intent to enter a CNC for the?
I'm not familiar with the CNC.
Okay, was it your intent to agree to the $3,500 fine? Okay, so that's how it's being going down on the record. You will get a letter from my office with payment instructions. All right? Okay. Commissioner Ford, you're good with that?
With no charge or default, that'll be
Yes.
taken out.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so you wait till you get the letter and then send the check in.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Next item, 2646, La Casa del Mofongo 207 LLC.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I appeared at a 500-foot hearing.
I see that.
I'm sorry, let me start by saying this application, we met with the community board 4 specific times, 4 separate times. And I guess fourth was the charm, since the community board did indeed improve it with stipulations, as well as the blessing of the 34th precinct.
I don't know, and I'm sitting here looking at this
It
going, I
was-
don't know how you pulled this off.
It was an extraordinarily proficient presentation that these gentlemen did together. I was not part of it. Having said that, at a 500-foot hearing, I appeared. No one appeared in opposition. This matter is up here today, even though the community board has approved it, and again, no one is here in opposition.
Do you have anything from the police department, or?
No, but I was present at the community board meeting when the police officer stood up and said, I've reviewed the security measures, I've asked them to cut back the hours of operation, which we did. We were going to be a 24-hour operation. And all the conditions that the police officer, I forget his name.
I see here, they have it in the things.
Yeah. It was Police Officer Pena, actually. And they're good with it. I just want to clarify one thing, the issue about a chef or a cook. This is a very unique operation. At any given time during the day, there's going to be between 10 and 15 chefs or cooks at the premises. We are operating in the front, the chicken rotisserie place, a sushi place, a 24-hour bakery. Have I missed anything? The sports, and the restaurant.
So what's the part, what's the part where the chef is going to be gone? You're just talking about the head chef of the whole
Actually,
place?
it should have been 12 to 12. There will be at least one cook there in all hours, even when we're not open. The bakery opens at 4 o'clock in the morning to start baking, and the baker will be there. So all hours of operation, there'll be at least one person who's trained in cooking.
And food will be available whenever it's open?
Yes. At least an assortment of 3 different types. We have stations, basically, where you go from station to station.
And who's Dishy?
Right here.
And who's the other guy?
This is our full-time general manager.
Okay.
Actually, it was this gentleman who was instrumental in meeting with Officer Pena and explaining what we were doing.
Is he on here, the manager?
I don't think I did a personal questionnaire. At the time I filed the application, I don't believe Julio was involved.
Can you do
I
that?
certainly can.
And what's his, because one of the concerns I had is that he doesn't appear to have any, the owner doesn't appear to have any experience with something like this. So what's your experience? Can you get to a microphone?
You can just state your name, please, too.
My name is Julio Betances, and I've been in the business for about 18 years. I ran Lucky 7, so I've been in the business for 18 years. So
You run Lucky 7? Yeah. Okay. How long have you run that?
4 years about. Other places was I used to work in the Mirage back in the day.
What is it?
The Mirage restaurant back in the days, about 10 years ago.
You said Lucky 7? Is that on 176th Street?
173rd Street, St. Nicholas.
I have a couple questions. I went there last night. You in this week, and I peeked inside. The outside of the place looks really nice. Inside looks beautiful. You have a pretty nice speaker array that's flown, and it looks like a stage area. So there's going to be live music there? Is that what that's for? Okay,
Yeah, they got live DJ and recorded.
okay.
What are they doing about the traffic?
We have an underground parking lot as part of our building.
How many spots are devoted to you?
It's our, it's
Oh, the whole thing is your guys?
And that's off of Sherman? Is that? Yeah, right behind it, off of Sherman? Yes, all right.
If I can just direct your attention to, this was the premises in June, the exterior premises in June. It's littered with at least 40 different vendors, street vendors. This is the same street. One of the things that also Henry was pleased about was that we would promise to clean the vendors up, and we did. I think there's still one or two left, but we're hoping they'll be gone by the time we open.
Yeah. Like I said, I went there, I saw it for myself.
You should have seen it when I self-certified.
Yeah. All right.
You're going to have 7 to 9 security guards every night? 3 to 4 Monday through Thursday, then 7 to 9 during the weekend? All right, do you have any other questions?
No. No. Like I said, I think I think guys have done a really nice job with the place, considering it was a Rite Aid before, correct? Yeah. What's that?
It was closed for 2 years. It was abandoned for 2 years.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah. I always like to see when abandoned properties come back to life in a community and become not just an eyesore any longer. So I'm going to vote to approve. Your hours are going to be you open at what time every day? 6 in the morning? Okay. Yeah, I'm fine with this.
I would have denied this, and you know I would have denied this. But the community board has seen it, taken it upon themselves to not have a problem with it, so I am going to take their word for it. They have some stipulations that are going to be part of the license that are, do you have those, Jackie? So those are all going to be part of the license. And given that they seem to not have a problem with this, and as you said, they also state the police department doesn't have a problem with it, I'll vote to approve as well.
Even though the vote's cast, I just have to point out one thing. Chris, you asked about Lucky 7. Lucky 7 had problems with the police and the neighborhood and the community board, and Julio was the one who cleaned that all up. And based upon the way he cleaned up Lucky 7, the police basically had the faith in him, so.
All right,
We'll
well,
definitely
I,
provide a personal questionnaire for him.
okay. Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, I'm going to require a questionnaire. Good luck.
Next item, 2621, Madison Kitchen LLC.
Hi, how are you? My name is Nick DeBona.
You're the applicant?
Yes.
Can we go outside for a second?
Yeah.
We're going to talk to council for 1
All right, we're back on the record.
So what you've done here, and I'm not saying I have a problem with it, but you've licensed part of your parking lot. Do you understand that? Well, you put stanchions up because you need to get to the back.
Yes.
So that means that part where the stanchions are, on the other side of it towards the building, is no longer part of your parking lot. It's now licensed, which means they have to stay there, even during the winter.
Okay.
Because it's a demarcation line between what's licensed and what isn't. And I know the natural tendency would be to move them, but that area is still licensed even if you move them, but it's not cordoned off, which causes a problem legally. So I think there was a mix-up on your pictures because it looked like that they were temporary, and I'm telling you, you can't make them temporary. They got to be permanent.
Okay, I have a question. So it's December, right? It's cold. We're not serving outside.
Still licensed.
Still licensed, even
Yeah.
though we were approved by the town to show 7 significant parking spots. That was the issue with the town. The town said show 7 spots on the property.
So this is taking up some of your spots, is what you're saying?
No, we have 7 legal spots on the property, and we're only serving, it would be from like Mother's Day to
Right.
October if it's warm.
Right.
Just to get some extra seats and.
No, and that's fine. What we're saying is that in order to get there, you have to walk in your parking lot, which is why you put those stanchions up.
Well, I thought the reason why we put the stanchions is because don't you need them mandatory by law?
Yeah.
From.
But what I'm saying is you can't move them once you put them up.
Okay, even if it's not operating.
Yes.
All right. So then I'm assuming I would have to go to the town to get permanent stanchions approved.
No, you can leave them like that. You just can't. You still have 7 parking spots, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's all. If that's all they're requiring, then you're fine.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
leave them, don't touch them.
Right, and you're going to have to shovel that area instead of plow it.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
But otherwise, I'm fine with this. Right, Chris?
Yeah.
And then I know you don't want to be open right now, but you could get heat lamps or something back there and stay open if you wanted to. But it's just once you license it, it's licensed for the whole year.
Okay. Is there any way to have a temporary license so it would just be seasonal?
I don't think so, is there?
So a temp.
I'm just gonna be
like a
honest. To keep those there
like
in
a
the winter months, it's just a little bit
seasonal
annoying.
area. We don't.
I mean, we do seasonal bars, but
Seasonal bars, but
we
not.
only do,
Go ahead.
sorry.
no, we don't do.
We
Yeah,
don't do-
it doesn't. There's not like a area of the law that allows for that.
You'd have to
So-
keep coming back in.
Right.
So you have to, every
add
6
it,
months, you'd
take
have
it
to come
off.
in and file another application.
Leave them there.
So well, finish voting, please, before I tell them what we're doing.
So you're going to grant reconsideration, return to licensing?
Yes, I am. Yes.
Yes, I'll grant reconsideration, return to
Now, if
license.
you're not using it, it doesn't mean it has to be clear. So you can move them to plow the place and then put them back. I'm not saying you can never move them, but you can't. You want to probably put them in your garage somewhere for the winter. And
Yeah, I have them all folded up.
yeah,
right
you
now.
can't do that. They have to mark where the licensed premise is versus non-licensed.
All right, so maybe I'll come up with a better way to have it.
Something more weatherproof,
Yeah.
right?
And you can even make it closer to the building if you want. As long as someone can walk through there, it's fine.
All right. All right,
All right.
thank you. Yes.
Reissue you a letter.
All right, and it'll come through,
Yeah,
and
but
we're all
you're not-
set. All right, thank you very much. Have a good day.
All right, next items, 2680, 81, and 82. NY Kentioki Inc.
Good afternoon, Matthew Leone for the licensee, and with me today is one of the principals, Mr. Kim. Good afternoon, Chairman Bradley, Commissioner Ford, Council, all members of the board. This is a conditional no contest plea to settle all the charges. I believe it's a substantial offer reflecting the seriousness of the charges. As far as all of the fire department, building department issues, those have all been corrected. The public assembly permit has been issued. Regarding the sale to minor, they have a new ID scanner that's being delivered today. They've been using I thought it was a phone, but it's an iPad app to check IDs since this issue. And in terms of the two disorderly premise charges, I've spoken with Mr. Kim. He doesn't, we don't really, we don't acknowledge that what was alleged really happened. But in any event, the two individuals.
Whoa. So back up there.
Sure.
A cop came in undercover, and a woman offered him $200 to perform fellatio on him. And you're telling me that the cop's lying? What would be his motivation for lying about that?
Well,
and then he came in again 2 months later and did the same thing, and another woman came up to him and said the same thing, and he's lying about that?
No, well, what I can tell you is this: for the second one, the one in that occurred, I think it's in May. I've seen there's a video. I've seen the video. There's a conversation, and there's no audio. You can't hear what the conversation is, but you see the undercover agent and you see the woman who was arrested. They have a conversation for nearly 1 hour at the bar, during which time, and it looks like it's definitely a friendly conversation. But at certain points during this conversation, there are times where you see the female kind of laughing, but clearly shaking her head no, making certain gestures where if you will look at it, if you see it, there's no question she's saying no. I don't know what she's saying no
So then
to.
that gets back to my initial question. What's his motivation to make that up?
No, maybe not to make it up, but if you're looking at
You think he spends his nights going in and arresting women who aren't actually prostitutes for prostitution?
No. But I look, again, without I haven't heard, I don't hear the conversation, but I think like in the if you're looking at it in a criminal context, it may very well have been some sort of either entrapment or something where he was trying to convince her to do something that maybe she ordinarily didn't do. I can tell you also that the two.
So let me ask you this, though. An arrest was made in March on the first incident, which he clearly was aware of.
Yes.
What did he do after that to make sure it didn't happen again?
Well,
Because it did happen again.
Well, you're right. There was another arrest, absolutely. So there were two arrests at the location. I know.
I mean, you've been in bars. It's not that hard to figure out what's going on when someone is offering these types of services.
Mm-hmm.
They're going from guy to guy to guy. And just because the cop caught somebody twice, if he's in the place, he's observing it a lot more easily than the police are. And the police are not ending up there unless they're hearing that that's going on there.
Isn't it actually two different detectives, too? One's Detective 380, the other
Yes.
one's 163.
There were. I think there were two different ones. What I can tell you is that the women were arrested, and both criminal cases were dropped. I couldn't get any documentation.
You know as well as I do that that's meaningless.
Well,
Here.
no, I know, and ordinarily, I agree with you, but but I can tell you the other thing that happened. Right, there was a nuisance abatement action also based on those two incidents, and the judge refused to shut the place down, and which again I think is unusual, right? Usually with the nuisance abatement, they go in, they ask for the place to be shut down.
There's enough here for me to shut it down, so I don't know why he wouldn't have.
Right. Right. So and again, I wasn't involved.
But I'm not going to go back and forth with you. I'm not taking 27.5. I'll take 32. And with this history, if he ends up, do we have another case on this guy? No. So if he ends up in back here again, that's it.
Right. That Mr. Kim completely understands. In terms of the $27,500 offer that's before you, this is a place. Well, the $27,500 is an extreme amount of money for Mr. Kim. I think it really, it reflects the seriousness. I think it reflects the fact that Mr. Kim, he obviously doesn't want to lose the business. This gives him a chance to reset things to, to get on top of things that may have slipped a little bit. I know he has some history, but he's
Well,
not.
32 will do the same then. And, the reason that it's 32 is because he's hit a whole host of different types. He's hit pretty much every type of charge you can hit here. Not to mention that he's got a history going back to 2014 of the same charges, other than the prostitution. If I had seen prostitution on those charges, we wouldn't be talking about even money.
Sure.
But, the same stuff, whether it be disorderly premises, on this case it's an altercation, failure to conform to application, failure to comply with local regulations, failure to comply with health regulations. He's going back and it appears that he's not getting the message. So if he wants to stay in business, he's going to get it this time. And then if he comes back, then he won't be in business anymore. So I'll take 32 if it's acceptable to Commissioner Ford and you.
32,000 is acceptable to me.
All right, I've talked about it with Mr. Kim. He accepts your
All right,
counter.
good luck.
All right, thank you.
Next item, 2648, Cafe 75, is that yours?
648, you said?
2648.
Sustain 1 and sustain 2.
Oh, and just,
This was actually a hearing that, there was a witness misidentified, so we sent it back to make sure that the ALJ either corrected it or clarified it, and it's a she, right? Yes, she corrected it.
Just before you impose the
Yeah.
penalty, if you would just consider this licensee, I think has been licensed there for approximately 40 years. They have, again, they do have a little bit of history, recent history, cases that were just,
So what I did, because of the 40 years, was normally in my mind, this is a $5,000 fine, and I'm giving you $2,500 because of the 40 years and some history, but not a lot.
I'll agree to 2,500 as well.
okay, all right, thank you, and I'm sure.
Same reasons.
Okay, and I'm sure the licensee will appreciate your consideration on
Yep,
that.
take care.
Okay, thank you.
Next item, 2616, Zero Lounge Restaurant, Inc.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman.
Good afternoon.
Ella Costa, and I'm here on behalf of the applicant. Applicant is in the cab. She's sick, and she's on her way. She should be here any minute. If I can move forward without her.
No, you can't, because she's asking for a DJ when it looks like she's already had one. Am I correct in that, Chris?
That's what it seems.
So I need to talk, I'm not saying that it's going to get denied because of that, but I need to talk to her. So if she's not coming, you need to put this over, or I'll deny it and you can reapply.
Can we put it over for?
1220?
1220, okay?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm good for you.
Next item, 2631, Belmore Discount Liquor, Inc.
Move this pile over here now. 2631.
You don't have to keep your stuff.
Is there any opposition here?
Good afternoon, Commissioner and board member. My name is Xiaowan Chen. My family call me Michael. I'm the applicant of the Belmore Discount Liquors Inc., doing business in Lake Feather, wine, and liquors. I'm here to request the state liquor authority to approve this license for public convenience and advantage.
Who's with you?
My cousins, he's Tony Wang. He's my business consulting. He's also my cousins.
So you don't have Lynn Chen anymore?
Yeah. Oh, she's there.
Oh, okay. Well, you can do it. Whatever you guys feel is, I just wondered where she was. Okay. This is actually a reconsideration. And I mean, what else, what is new here that we didn't consider last time? I know you didn't show up last time, correct?
Yeah, I was,
So I'll grant the reconsideration just to let you do your presentation. But I did look at this last time. I know you weren't here, so you're welcome to do your presentation. I don't know, do you want to grant the reconsideration?
No, I'm going to deny reconsideration.
No, okay.
I don't see anything here that's different.
Can I please get a minute?
Sure.
Yes, I opening up like the old school liquor stores. We want to bring the Long Island. We want to promote the Long Island vineyards and where it's owned by locally. And our goal is to bring Long Island wine and New York upstate wine closer to our community. And where the other liquor stores, everybody carry all the name brands and from Napa. And where the Long Island's, I believe what we take from the local, we should give it back to the local. And we gotta have wine.
But that's all stuff we considered. You put that in your papers last time. I mean, it didn't help you that you didn't come, but we also did consider whether this was toward public convenience and advantage, and we ruled that it wasn't. And a lot of the reason we ruled it wasn't is the population in the area, in my mind, I don't know what his view was, but the population in the area is stagnant. You have 4 stores within 1.1 miles of your location. I'm sorry, you have 6 stores within 1.2 miles of location. We just issued a new one in May that's only 1.1 miles away from you. And
Another one a year ago, 10/3/16.
And the sales of the closest stores don't show an increasing demand for alcohol. So to me, there's just no public convenience and advantage to adding another one at this time. If someone was to close or you were to go buy one, then probably you wouldn't have a problem. But right now in this area, this is one of the hardest areas in the state to get a liquor store. And you're just trying to open one. We reject a lot more in this area than we approve because the place is saturated with liquor stores. And the population is generally stagnant.
The report shows that the demographic shows there's a growing population.
I looked, I received your stuff, your supplemental stuff, and I looked at it, and I don't know where you got your numbers, but all the numbers I found were over the last 8 years, the population at best went up 1 or 2%, which is stagnant. You indicate that it went up like 20 some odd percent, but there's no information that I found that supports that number.
And that's the same that's the reasons why I just don't see there's any public convenience and advantage. There's 3 stores that have opened in the past couple of years. One this year, one last year, and one in 2014.
And the sales don't indicate that there's an increasing demand as well. So I'm going to vote to deny the reconsideration as well.
Mr. Chairman and Mr. Commissioner, is there a way that I could get one more appeal where I could prove it by the numbers? Because
No, this was your appeal. You can go to court and try to prove that our decision was irrational, but the best thing is to probably find a better location.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yep.
That's the issue. It's the location.
Yeah, the issue is not with you or you guys. It's with the location.
I seen the other guys where everybody had like a big supermarket, and the backbone of the consumers like from different area, even though we located within the parameters. But the thing is, right behind us, which is like a block away, is New Hyde Park.
Yeah, but everybody drives in Long Island. So if there's a store a half a mile away from your store and that's been there, and there's another store the other way a half a mile away, they don't need another one because everybody gets in their car. A half a mile is less than a minute. You understand what I'm saying? Nobody's walking, so you're no more convenient because you're putting it in one plaza over another plaza. And the sales are proving that because everybody's stores are showing, they're not showing increases in sales, they're flat.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, the next item, 2629 302 Broome Art Space LLC. Anybody? Okay. 2619
What do
Jupiter.
you want to do with that one there?
I'm just going to hold in case somebody walks in.
Okay.
2619 Jupiter Food Mart Corp.
Good afternoon, Commissioners of the Board. My name is Teddy Gonzalez. I'm the representative for the applicant.
We previously canceled this location.
Yes.
Says Mr. Binning?
Yes, sir.
All right. Do you have any relation at all with the previous owner?
No.
How'd you find out about this place?
Mutual friends? Was they a family and they were... Slur the business on the contractors for this application are holding no.
Your uncle used to own this, right?
No, that was a loan I got from my uncle Chess.
Your uncle's not Harpal Rai? And he owned it prior to the person you're buying it from?
I'm buying from Arvin, and then the owner is a landlord, Suk Henderson.
Well, who was the owner before Randall Petroleum? Americo.
Right, that's the name is there.
And that's your uncle owned that, right?
I don't know. That's not like the name I saw, because I got the loan from him to get over there.
Denied.
Yeah, it says clearly right here, name of last licensee principals.
The one thing you can't come here and do is lie right to my face.
No, sir, I bought from...
I know who you're buying from. I asked you, who did that guy buy from? And that guy bought it from your uncle, who was an availer.
No, it's not like what I was informed.
He, supposedly, he bought, the new guy, the guy that's there now.
Am I misinterpreting this?
I don't think I'm missing it. No, I don't see anything. I think you're right, Chairman.
All right. So it's denied. He lied right to my face.
Denied.
You guys not watch these hearings? Because I got to ask you. You just told me you didn't know your uncle owned the place before you. I don't believe you. Go.
I don't have anything else signed in, so we'll get to the stack.
Okay.
2602.
Time for alms.
I had a question here. Why did we impose 4,000?
I don't know either. I was blaming it on you, by the way.
I went back, and actually don't, because I went back and watched the video. You said 4,000, and you were like, 4,000? And then you went along with it.
So 1,000.
1,000, yeah.
That's fine.
All right.
So it was me. Thanks,
All
Tom.
right.
That's
How's that bus track feel over you?
There goes the Christmas bonus. I think.
Yeah, there it goes.
2603.
1,500, right? Is that the normal amount for that? No?
No, it's not, that's over there.
That's fine.
You can look it up in the delegation if you want. I
Yeah.
can, if you
We'll
like.
get a recon if it's not. 1,500.
1,500 is good.
2608, 10, and 11.
Dismiss 1, sustain 1, 2, and 3, sustain 1. Place has been open less than a year?
Yeah. Does this place even have security? Holy cow.
You want to bring him in?
I think they should be brought in.
All right, bring him in.
1220?
Yep.
Okay.
Merry Christmas.
2613.
I read the 3 decisions. I just have typos on the last one, and I'll approve one, assuming the typos are fixed.
I didn't catch typos, but I'll approve as well.
You can just hand those down to him.
2623. Thank you, Commissioner.
Sustain 1, sustain 2, sustain 3, sustain 4, dismiss 5, 6, 7, and 8, sustain 9, 12,000.
12,000.
2625.
3,000.
Should that be 2,500 since they've been there since 2010, I thought?
Liquor store, though?
Oh,
A
liquor
grocery store.
Grocery store.
No, you're right. 2,500.
All right, I got one. See, I do pay attention sometimes.
2626.
Accept.
Accept.
2627.
Any
Previous
relation?
license was canceled for Focal Point, but it was a restaurant.
Yes, grocery store.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with this. She says she's not affiliated with the restaurant, and I don't think it matters.
I'll approve as well.
I will too.
He's in a giving mood today, isn't he?
All right.
No, because I know what they're gonna end up, they're gonna end up back here.
Now we'll do 2629.
All right.
26, 29. Oh, here we go.
1,200.
Yeah, 1,200.
2632.
Accept.
Stop that.
That's
Not
you.
that source. Yeah, it was me this time. Underage, please. Why so high, I'm asking?
What'd you do?
2632. Shouldn't that just be 3,000? Sale to minor? They're offering 10,000.
They have other history too.
It's the history in the past that's not within 5 years.
Okay, all right. Then 10 grand it is.
I don't turn the gift horse in the mouth, Commissioner.
2633.
Dismiss one.
Dismiss.
Why doesn't the CO have a number on it, by the way? Do you know that?
I don't know. I haven't
All
seen
right.
that.
So we still can't, we can't charge them even though we know it should have been 74? Doesn't matter, I'm not changing, it's dismissed.
2634.
Dismiss.
Spontaneous 1-minute fight, dismiss.
2635.
4,500 accept.
4,500 accept.
2636.
Accept.
6,000 accept.
2637.
Sustain 1, 2, 3, 4. We mischarged 5, so dismiss it. And 6, dismiss. Fine, 2,500.
2,500.
2638.
Accept.
2638. Accept.
2639.
Accept.
Accept.
2640.
Accept.
Accept.
2641.
Accept.
Second time this year. Accept 6,000.
2642.
Accept.
2,000 accept.
2644.
We have a problem because this guy sent a letter in response, and it's not actually accepting 6,500. He wants no fine. So what does that mean? Although he did sign the bill of particulars. that
No,
said-
I think he's
I think it's an argument.
he's taking the offer, but
Right.
saying in mitigation that we'd like no fine.
All right, given the length of time that he doesn't have a significant history, I'll give him 5,500. It should be 6,500.
Does he have no other adverse history, though, or what?
Oh, he's a sale for resale.
Just sale for resale, I
Oh,
think.
okay, yeah. All right, 5,500.
2645.
Cancel and bond. Sustain 1 and 2, cancel and bond.
Cancel and bond.
Actually, there's not going to be a bond claim.
Okay.
For 2645?
Yeah, 2009 happened.
Oh. All right.
There was a typo on the.
All right,
agenda
cancel
sheet.
for the record then.
All right.
2649.
Accept.
Accept.
All right, I think I already told you, 2650, 51, and 52 are held over by Mr. Flynn until the 20th. 2653.
Accept.
Accept.
2654 was also held over by Mr. Flynn until the 20th. 2661.
Accept.
No, they asked for mitigation, there's no mitigation. They got 3 sales in 4 years, 10,000.
EB and Hempstead.
10,000, yes.
2662.
Can we accept, but I would ask for a name stop too?
And I did that, name stop and location stop.
Thank you.
I'll accept.
This is on 2662.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. 2664.
Accept.
I think it should be higher, but I'll let
Okay,
that
go. Give me a number.
I was gonna say, 5,000.
Counter 5,000.
Okey doke. 2666.
I'll grant reconsideration, withdraw the bond claim, and accept the 2,500.
2,500, yes.
All right, 2675 is also held over to the 20th by Ms. Russo.
By who?
Teresa Russo. 2675 is the movie theater.
Why do we even need her?
She wants her
Okay.
client to be here. She thinks he has something, or she has
All right.
something important to say. 2676 and 77 is also held over to the 20th.
I'm sorry, you said 2666 is held over?
76 and 77 are held over to the 20th.
Okay.
2678.
Accept.
Accept.
2679.
Counter 6,000. The cook slashed someone in the throat with a knife.
Counter at 6,000.
2683.
Accept.
Accept.
All right, and 2683A is my request for a delegation of power to, regarding the full board decisions and the minutes. I did indicate to Commissioner Ford and Council that I'll be sending copies to them anyway, because they have anything to say.